Hello, everyone, and welcome back. As always, I'm your girl, Candy Washington. So, before we dive into today's episode, which is breaking down all things the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, I wanted to say hi to everyone. I took a break over the summer and it bled a little bit into the fall. To me, Bravo was just getting a little bit too toxic, a little bit too draining. So I wanted to just take a little bit of a break, chill, and focus on my other company, my wellness company, which is the Soft Life. If you guys want to know about that, it is linked down below. Podcasts, courses, all of that great stuff. And also, if you want to support the show, you can subscribe, like, share, and leave a comment down below. So, with that, you guys, hello, welcome back, everybody. Hey, Chocolate Chunks. Hey, Miss T. Hey, Tay Tay. Hey, Adam. Hey, everybody. Let's dive right on in. So, let's first things I will do is I will talk about each of the girls, and then I'll get into the whole Prism jewelry scandal of it all. Okay. So let's start out with my fave, Lisa Barlow. So, as you guys know, I'm a Lisa Barlow stan. I absolutely love her. I think the reason why she has so much trouble with the rest of the girls is because, lover or hater, Lisa Barlow is that girl. She really is. She's just that girl of the group. That's why Heather wants to be her BFF. That's why Whitney is jealous of her and can't stand her. That's why Bronwin comes in as a friend of Lisa, but then the moment she gets a chance, she wants to then go and kind of turn her back on Lisa to be with the other, pick Mishas of the group. You know what I'm saying? And so Lisa really is that girl. I'm going to get into whether or not, and I want you guys to answer this in the chat box if you're live, or comment down below if you're watching on the replay. Do you think Lisa Barlow was behind the leaking of Whitney Rose's allegedly copying, using Alibaba's designs for her Prism jewelry line and then hiking up the price? So basically doing what a lot of retailers do, buying super, super cheap and then marking it up really, really high, slapping your name or brand on it. Do you think Lisa Barlow is behind that or not? Okay. So I feel bad for Lisa in the sense of, I think that she is coming back into her own. She's taking her power back, but I do sense a sense of sadness about her. I think she's tired of the girls constantly coming for her. I think she's tired of always having to prove herself. I think she's tired of all of the lies being on her and around her. But I will say this, I'm happy that she's owning who she is. And she's like, no, I'm Lisa Barlow. Take it or leave it. If you don't like it, too bad. It is what it is. I know you want to be me, but you can't. What up? Which is different than what Heather Dubrow is doing on the OC. And I'll get to that. I think we'll do the OC tomorrow night. So much going on with OC. Tamara Judge needs to be canceled forever. Like, I can't even understand that. Anyway, but the reason why I bring Heather Dubrow up in this situation is because, to me, Lisa Barlow and Heather Dubrow are very, very similar in the sense of, lover or hater, she's that girl in the group. She has the money, she has the husband, she has the fashion, she has the prestige. Whether you like her or not, she's that girl. She just is. The difference is with Heather Dubrow, I think that Heather Dubrow is more of a pick-me. That's why she's still friends with people like a Tamara Judge and really wants that validation. Whereas Lisa has really stepped into her own and she's like, no, I'm not even going to entertain any of that. So that's kind of where I stand when it comes to that. So I love Lisa Barlow. I think that's kind of where Lisa is on her journey. Let's talk about Heather. Okay, so I'm living for Heather, not Heather. Yeah, for Heather Gay this season. Now, when it comes to Heather, I'm happy that she is putting Whitney in check. She's still being her little, like, we're cousins, we're kissing cousins, little, situation, which is fine. But she sees through Whitney. She sees who Whitney is, and they're not doing that thing that they used to do in the beginning seasons where they would get together, create a story in their head about what they thought the truth was. Then they would go back to the group and regurgitate it as if it were the truth. They're not doing that anymore because Heather Gay got wise to Whitney and all her stuff. I will say this, though. Heather knows her position on the show, and she wants to keep that position on the show. She is, in my opinion, the Kyle Richards of the show, in the sense that she is the producer's plant. She's the producer's favorite. She's going to be the one that's going to go in and drop the bomb. She's going to be the one that's going to carry the bone. She's going to be the one that's going to stir the pot, not say too much about herself, but wants to go in and stir up everybody else's mess. And to be honest with you, I'm kind of living for it. I really like Heather Gay. In the beginning seasons, I was not a Heather Gay fan. I wasn't feeling her at all. But I think she's coming to her own. She's being more authentic. She's being more honest. When she was in her people-pleasing mode, that to me comes off as slimy. Like when somebody is like overly nice and not themselves, it's kind of ick. So I'm really happy that she stepped into her own and she stepped into her true self of who she is. So I'm really happy about that. So I'm happy for Heather in that situation. And I'm also looking forward to seeing Heather grow. And I like Heather and Lisa Barlow being friends. It is much more enjoyable to watch these two women as friends than it is to watch them fight each other literally over nothing. So I'm liking that. And again, to make a reference to the OC, and I'll talk about this again when we do the OC live tomorrow, but to me, it's like if Heather Dubrow could finally get her ish together, kick Tamara Judge, aka Whitney, to the side, and befriend Shannon Bedore the way Heather Gay has befriended Lisa, I actually think that dynamic on the OC would work really, really well. We haven't really ever seen that dynamic. We almost did in the beginning when Shannon first came onto the show, but then everything blew up and Tamara got into everybody and business and blew that up. I actually think that dynamic would be really, really interesting on the OC. But we'll talk about that more when we do the OC recap. But that's kind of what I'm feeling with Heather. I have to say, and nobody cancel me for this, but I agree with Heather Gay's position on, quote, body positivity being a lie. Because she wasn't saying the way Mary was trying to make her say, Mary, like, sit down, have several seats. Like, we'll get to you, Mary, okay? What Heather Gay was saying was, she wasn't saying that she was lying about body positivity. She was saying that the quote, movement around body positivity is a lie. And I agree with that, the majority of that sentiment. And I'll break down what that means. Yes, there is this whole like, be your authentic self. We embrace all body, all hair type, all skin tones, blah, 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 blah. But underneath all of that, the same, quote, beauty standard was still being rewarded, still being sought out, and still being pushed as being better than, coveted, sought after. This is what you should look like and be, right? And a lot of the whole body positivity, diversity, inclusiveness did feel performative. Like, oh, now that it's cool to have diversity, let's do that. Now that it's cool to have body positivity, let's do that. It was kind of lacking this sort of genuineness to it. And I think that is what Heather Gay was trying to say. She wasn't saying that she was lying about being positive about her body. She was saying that the movement itself felt like a lie to her. And I can understand what she's saying. You know, I can understand what she's saying. I can't necessarily identify with it, but I understand what she's saying about not feeling right in your body and all of that stuff. So overall, Heather to me is refreshing. I love her without Jen Shaw. I love her with keeping it all the way real with Whitney. I'm liking Heather this season. Now, let's talk about Brittany. Brittany is a hot mess. And Brittany is the type of girl that at this point in my life, I would never be friends with. I could see her at a brunch. I could see her at a dinner and drinks. But as a friend, hell to the no. Multiple reasons, okay? Number one, Brittany is an energy vampire suck. She has a very negative energy to her, because not negative in the sense of mean, but negative in the sense of like, the only person I'm talking about or care about is like myself and this guy who is treating me like garbage. Every conversation, I'm only going to talk about him. Every conversation, I'm only going to talk about what he just texted me. Every conversation, I'm either praising him or I'm bashing him. Every conversation is me, him, us, me, him, us. And how dare you have an opinion about this person that I just talk about 24/7 times a day, even though he calls me his bestie, but he sleeps with me. He won't claim me on Instagram, but we're together. He drops my hand when he's holding it when a hot person comes around. Oh my God, he's hitting on your brow, girl. I can't believe, like, Brittany, shut up, bye, sit down, next. Number one, I do not want to be friends with women who have that level of low self esteem. When you get some sort of high or some sort of kick out of this up, down, hot, cold, rabbit hole, roundabout, with a man who is clearly using you for sex and doesn't really care about you, doesn't respect you, and has you out here looking like a damn clown. And then for you to turn around and act like Lisa, who we love, at least I love, is to blame for the fact that this man has used you for sex for the last year, refuses to claim you, calls you his buddy. That's why you guys aren't going to be in a serious relationship, because Lisa Barlow had a FaceTime with him talking about bestie. That's really the core problem. She's the problem. She's the issue. Like you really just, you lost me with that one, sweetheart. You lost me with that one. Hey, Freddie. Freddie says she chooses this Jared guy over her daughter. That's why she won't talk to her. Ooh, shout out to Freddie, Reality Diamond, dropping the T in the chat. Listen, Jared, that's his name. Yikes. Broke down, second cousin twice removed. Osmond, get out of here. Oswald, Osmond, whatever the hell their name is. Whatever. No, girl, no, thank you. That type of behavior, quite frankly, is never cute, but it's really not cute if you're over the age of 18. I'm just saying it's really not cute. And that type of friend is a very dangerous friend to have, because that's the type of friend that when you are honest with her about her situation and she doesn't want to hear the truth, she's then going to turn around and throw everything that you've ever told her about your life, your relationship in your face, to be like, well, how dare you talk about my relationship when you told me this, and this about your man or your husband? Hell no, all the way around. Hell no. Brittany is whack to me, low self-esteem all day, very dangerous, very two-faced, and is an energy suck. She's not interested in any of the other women and what they have going on. She's just interested in, having this weird narcissistic up and down relationship with a guy who clearly is not into her. So miss me with Brittany all day. Okay. Whitney. All right. You guys already know I cannot stand Whitney. I can't stand her voice. I can even do her voice. It's so weird. I can't stand Whitney. I can't stand her voice. I can't stand her jewelry line. I think she's a flat out liar. I agree 1,000% with Lisa that she weaponizes her trauma and her healing journey. Okay, good job. I love self-care and wellness. Self-love, knock yourself out all day long. But a part of being a healed adult is knowing that nobody is responsible for you but you. And so you cannot hold other people accountable for your feelings. So the whole first episode and throughout the whole season, like, Lisa just isn't listening to my feelings. She's not listening to my feelings. I'm not talking about facts, blah, blah, blah. A core part of learning to how to be a healthy adult is understanding that your feelings are not facts. So you can't hold somebody accountable to your feelings when they're not lighting up to the facts of the situation. And you just want to use your feelings and your trauma as a way to not be accountable for the role that you played in the mess, and to hold other people sort of at like emotionally hostage. It's like, if you're like, say you're having a conversation with someone and you are calling them out on their stuff and they start crying. I'm not talking about real tears. I'm talking about performative tears. Then the conversation stops. Then it becomes about, oh, don't cry, comforting them, when that is emotional manipulation. That's them using their feelings and their healing and their crying to get out of having any ownership of the part that they played. Whitney is a huge liar all day, every day. You know what I'm saying? And Jay says you're on early. Yes, I'm on early. I was gonna go on 5 o'clock East Coast or West Coast time, 8 o'clock East Coast time, but I got a lot of messages saying, "Can you go on earlier?" So I popped on earlier for the people. So hello, everybody. Um, so yeah, to me with Whitney, I just can't with her. She's a liar and all of the things. Now let's talk about her jewelry line collection, whatever the hell, and then I'll share what my thoughts are. So I'll go down a little bit smaller so you guys can see. So this is the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City rumor about Whitney Roll's jewelry and Alibaba accusations explained. So this is from Reality T. I'll go through the article, I'll break it down, and then I will tell you my thoughts on what I think is going on here. Okay. So Whitney Rose of the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City has always been a free spirit and creative thinker. Sure. The blonde bombshell has started her own company from the ground up. She worked hard to make it a household name. Whitney's Wild Rose Beauty has been showcased in a series multiple times, and the mother of two is throwing lavish launch parties. But season 5 has thrown Whitney's entrepreneurial skills into the limelight, with some calling out her products as possible fakes. Here's what you need to know about the claims against Whitney. Now, whoever wrote that intro, you're either delusional or you're being paid by Whitney, because her launch parties were not lavish. She didn't have product, and it was just really weird. And I never heard of Wild Rose Beauty until the show. Anyway, last week, Meredith Marks let slip there's a rumor floating around that Whitney steals Alibaba designs, claims them as her own, and marks them up. While there has been no truth in the while there is no truth in the gossip mill, Dana Wilkie, a former Real Housewives of Beverly Hills housewife, had her own ideas. In the video, Dana notes that the Whitney is charging $49 for a gold Zodiac necklace. During the episode, Meredith pointed out that the same stock photo was also being used in Alibaba, but they were charging $3. Dana shows more shared photos of a protection cross, a truth necklace, and a lucky girl pendant necklace. All the images match, and there is a considerable markup. According to the Prism website, Whitney and Amber Lee bonded over the desire to inspire women to honor their healing journeys and to spread the message that when you heal yourself, you heal the world. Dana mocked up the idea of a luxury vibe by noting that China makes some great stuff. For Dana, she believes where there is smoke, there is fire, but could Whitney be getting a bad rap? Anyway, it goes on to talk about Alibaba, blah, 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 blah. This is what I think is going on. You guys can see how similar they are. Again, this is my humble opinion. Allegedly, Whitney Rose, keep your little coins. Don't come after me with any crap, okay? I'm just a YouTuber giving my opinion in what I think. I'm not saying these are facts. These are my feelings, Whitney, okay? These are my feelings. This is how I feel. I feel like, hell yeah, Whitney and Amber Lee and Prism are getting designs from Alibaba and then selling them on their website and marking them up, because newsflash, literally almost everybody does this. This is nothing new under the sun at all. The big problem is, are you misleading the consumer in your advertising? That is what the biggest problem is. If you are saying these are custom designs, these are one of a kind, these are made in-house, that's why you have to be really careful with your description and your advertising, because if you are doing false advertising or if you're misleading in your advertising, then that is when you are lying, and that is when you could be sued or you're caught into something. But newsflash, everybody, this happens all of the time, whether it is a celebrity, whether it is a stay-at-home mom, whether it is a influencer, real housewife, a lot of people will do this. I do a lot of writing as well. And a couple years ago, I did fashion copywriting for a fashion brand. And this is exactly what they did. It was basically they would go to Alibaba, they would find what they wanted to sell, and I would have to create description copy based on that. And then they would mark it up and sell it on their website. People do this all the time. Now, my issue with Whitney is you just need to tell the truth. Because if you're, I mean, we have eyes. That's the same stuff. There were other examples. Like, we're not stupid. You're telling me that it's just a coincidence, in my Nene voice, that your designs look exactly like the Alibaba designs. A lot of people do this. Is it right? No, but corporations do this. They manufacture mass things, whether it's in China or India. And I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. I just mean like that's the region of the world where it's manufactured. They'll manufacture it in bulk. That's why a lot of people, this is also called wholesale. When you buy something wholesale, you buy a bulk amount and then that way each unit is marked really down because you're buying such a high quantity. So you buy wholesale and then you resell the individual one at a marked up price. This is also called, is it private white labeling? It's either private label or white label, where you don't actually create the product, you just slap your brand on it. You know, this happens all the time. The issue is, are you lying to your consumer? Because some people will pay the marked up price for the logo. This is consumerism 101. This is capitalism 101. You 101. You know, you could go to Target and get some cute sneakers for $30, or you could go to Nike or all these other stores and buy the same exact sneaker, just one has a logo and one doesn't, for $200. Same thing with the bag. You know, I'm guilty of it. I will buy a bag for a logo. It's the same crap. Sure, someone's like, oh, sure, this is made. Stop. All leather comes from cows. Stop. Okay. Obviously, there's quality here and there, but whatever. It's a part of consumerism. It's a part of capitalism. To do that, the problem is you have to let your consumer, the person who's giving you money, in on that. When you don't, that is when you become a fraud. So Whitney, with her whole, these are our designs, we buy them from a vendor, and maybe it's the vendor buying them from no. You have to be real dumb and a special type of stupid. And I'm not calling her dumb or stupid because that's mean. I'm just saying that the action would be, if you bought from a third party vendor marked up from Alibaba, when you could just go to Alibaba, get the big discount, put it on your website, and buy it for something more. Now, I'm not saying that that is the right thing to do, but that's how it is. Now, let's get into the conversation she had in her car with her sketchy husband. I mean, to me, he's sketchy. Again, Whitney, this is how I feel. Whitney. I feel like your husband is sketch. I mean, he was working for that, MLM company, in my opinion, marketing pyramid scheme company, where they laid him off. He got, paid time off because they were in this big class action lawsuit, but they didn't want the smoke when he was on the show. All of that crap. Super sketch. So clearly this is a very scripted, planned conversation that she has with her podcaster friend, Adam. Now, I don't like to talk about other content creators on my platform. However, when they become the content by their own volition, then it's fair game. So since he was Adam, which I'm assuming is Up and Adam, on the show via his voice, then I'll speak on it because he's a part of the show. Other than that, I don't really want to talk about other content creators other than to lift them up and say, good job, keep going. But since he's a part of the show, I'll bring it up. Now, did I personally believe that that conversation was authentic? No. And this is no shade to him. This is nothing to his credibility or his authenticity, but I have to share my opinion since he now is literally a part of the show. Do I think that conversation was scripted? I do. I do. I think Whitney isn't that good of an actress. She's like, oh, wait, what? What happened? Oh, well, I only have one friend in my circle that owns tequila, that owns an alcohol brand. It has to be Lisa. And then her husband over in the corner, like, oh my God, I can't believe that this is horrible. Like, it was just the most weird, awkward, scripted scene I've ever seen in my life. I personally, the person I want to talk to is Giorgio Says, who is the content creator that broke the story. And the only reason why I'm using their name is because, again, in the episode before that, their name was aired on the show. So since they've become a part of the show, I feel comfortable saying their name. So I want to know what his take is. I want to know what he says about this. I need to do a little deeper dive because, number one, if I were him, I was not in on this conversation, I would be pissed because now you're on the show basically telling people that you can't be trusted. You're going to reveal your sources. You know, this weird game of like, what brand do they own was so whack and so bizarre. And this like, well, he's really good friends with him. And he called him and he was like, well, I can't tell you the name, but you can ask me questions. And I'll like say yes or no. You're still revealing your source. And no, as TikTokers and podcasters and YouTubers, no, we're not journalists. We didn't go to journalism school or anything like that. So we're not journalists. But I do think that if you want to have a level of integrity, there is a part of you don't reveal your sources unless they give you permission to. So even though, no, we're not technically journalists, we're bloggers. There's no code of conduct for bloggers. We're not journalists. But I do think just as human beings, and if you want to be taken seriously in this space, you're not going to reveal your sources. So if I'm Giorgio and I did not give Adam permission to say that, I would be pissed because now you're outing me. Now, do I believe that Lisa Barlow was behind leaking of the photos for Giorgio to post? To be honest with you, I don't care. This is very giving me Lucy, Apple Goosey, Boo Boo the Fool, Puppy Gate back in Beverly Hills when it was like, oh my God, did Lisa Vanderpump leak the story about the puppy injury? Who cares? First and foremost, Whitney trying with her little Peabody brain up there, trying to make it synonymous with what Monica did as being reality Von Teese with the allegation that Lisa Barlow gave Giorgio Says the information about Alibaba. It's apples to oranges, sweetheart. It is completely different to be an active blogger, troll, posting anonymously at that. She didn't even have the audacity to show her face. You know what I mean? Say her real name. She'd have the audacity to actually be herself and say her opinion. She was hiding behind some anonymous troll account, stalking them, versus Lisa, the allegation that Lisa Barlow tipped off a TikToker with something that is clear as day with Alibaba and pictures. So again, apples to oranges. Nice try, Whitney, but you missed. And again, like I said before, I don't care. To be honest with you, I hope Lisa did do it. I hope she did. I hope she did give him the information because who cares, Whitney? You're not going to have a receipts, timeline, screenshots. You're not going to recreate that moment, and you will never make me hate Lisa Barlow. Ever. It's just not going to work, boo-boo. It's not. I hope she did. I hope she did. I hope she did because Whitney, you're a horrible, mean person. And I don't mean this in a disrespectful way. I mean that in an honest way. You're mean. You're mean and you're nasty to people. You lie on people and you revel in it. The way you befriended Lisa and threw Heather to the wolves. And then when Heather and Lisa became friends, then you threw Heather to the wolves, said, I'm going on a friendship break with you. And now that Heather and Lisa have maintained that friendship, you can't stand it. The jealousy is like seething out of every single one of your pores. You lie on people, you're not nice, you're rude, and your jewelry's fake, in my personal opinion. Duh. So if she did send the photos, who cares? It's not like she cracked some, crazy case about you. A lot of people, from corporations to mom and pop shops to celebrities to influencers, do what you do. They buy wholesale from a supplier like an Alibaba. They slap their logo on it and they mark it up. That's commerce 101. You're not doing anything new under the sun. The problem is when you're not honest about it, then it becomes fraud. Then it becomes misleading. Just tell the truth. And that's it. Okay? Don't forget, we caught, what's her face? I should have got a screenshot. Last year, we caught Kylie Jenner and Erica Jane wearing that $13 Alibaba Shein black and white dress, remember? So, I mean, everybody's out here doing it allegedly. So who knows? But yeah, miss me without Whitney. What else about Whitney? I'll get to more Whitney, but let's talk about some of the other girls, okay? So we talked about Lisa, Heather, Brittany, Whitney. I have Mealy on there, really small. I actually don't know what to say about her other than the fact that Lisa said that isn't she barred from like Nordstrom's or Louis Vuitton or something like that for bringing back too many returns. Oh, this is my thing. If you are going to shop and return, do it at like Amazon because they don't care. You can return all day long with Amazon as long as it's in the 30-day window and they're fine. They're not going to block you for that unless you're being crazy. But don't do it with like big name brand fancy places. It's not that deep or serious. If you can't afford name brand fashion designer stuff, which is completely fine, like who cares? Like it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't matter. Invest that time and money into cultivating your own personal style. I'm going on a little tangent here, but this is just because that's the only thing I know about Mealy is that story. Cultivate your own personal style rather than trying to rely on logos and brands, which is cheesy anyway. Like when the women are wearing like logos everywhere, they look ridiculous. I'm talking to you, Dorit. I'm talking to you, Bronwin. You look ridiculous. You just look like a hot mess. I'm talking to you, Jessel. Like you don't look fashionable. You kind of look like a joke. Like you think being fashionable and stylish is wearing logos everywhere, but you just kind of look like a joke. Invest in having your own personal style. Invest in like good quality things and then mix and match with things you get from, other places. That's what I would say. That was a little bit of a tangent. Let's get back on it. Let's talk about Angie. Miss Angie. Oh, wait, Miss T says, what do I think about the new Mary? Okay, let's talk about Mary, then we'll get to Angie. Shout out to Miss T. Love you. Okay. I am living for the new Mary. Living. I saw her on Watch What Happens Live, and they were like, oh, like, this is like the new Mary. You seem so happier and lighter. And she's like, I am happier and lighter. And I do think that's true. Now, you guys check me on this. I could be wrong, but I think she took a little bit of time away from the church. I think they're like renovating or something, but she took some type of break from the church. I think that break did her very well. She's looking a lot healthier. I mean, I don't know what they're doing in the confessionals. I feel like her entire face is like Facetune. My face is not Facetune, if you guys were wondering. This is just me, real, no filter. But you can see Mary is like filtered down. She's filtered down. But overall, she does still look healthier. Her face is fuller. Her energy is a lot lighter. She just seems like she herself isn't so dark. And so now when she has those one-liners in the quips, I receive it personally in a more lighter, funnier way, more as like a fun read, rather than like you're just being kind of a jerk and you're really being mean and hurtful and nasty. Because not necessarily because what she is saying is different, but because the energy from which it is coming is different. So I'm liking the new Mary. I think she's fun. I think she's in a good place. And the reason why I think she is this way is a couple of things. One, I think her and Robert Sr., I think they were always living separate lives, but I think now it's probably much more official and real that they're living separate lives and less of a lie, if that makes sense. So I don't think anything in their relationship technically changed. I think he does him, she does her. He was living out of state anyway, in the other wing of the house. Wasn't really dealing with her like that. Whatever happened, in my personal opinion, they only got together as a way to scheme and scam to get her grandmother's money and the church and properties. And to me, that whole situation was a fraud money grab situation. Her and her step grandfather, that's just in my opinion. Again, don't come at me, Mary. Keep your coins to yourself. Don't demand a lawyer to come after me. This is my opinion. I think that whole situation was a money grab. I think that Mary probably has felt a lot of guilt from what she participated in for the money. And I think that maybe cracked her a little bit in her head. Like we talk about how she's kind of cuckoo, kind of off. I think a lot of that on her was a lot of guilt and shame. Because I do think inside Mary is a good person, but I think she was haunted by a lot of stuff. And I think when you're a good person and you do bad things, that will haunt you. Even if you're a bad person who does bad things, it haunts you, but in a different way, if that makes sense. And I feel like since she's been able to talk about it and get it out and not have the lies and the secrecy and be more honest about the situation, even though, of course, she's still lying, in my opinion, but I think she's telling more of the truth than she's ever had. I think the break from the church, I think being honest about her son, she's talking about her son and his struggles. He's at home, he's entered rehab, the substance abuse and all of that, him not really being ready to adult in any real way, him having problems. She's being honest about that and she's talking about that. And I think that when you are in a dark place, I'm not a parent, I don't know, but I can only think, particularly with your children, and you're lying about it and you're not being honest about it and you're pretending everything is okay. That is such a weight on you. So even if you're still going through it, she clearly is still going through it because he's going into rehab, but you're being honest about it, because then what they say, secrets is what make you sick, right? But because now she's being honest about it, I think that has brightened her up so much more. Because you can go through storms, but if you go through it with grace and honesty, you can get through it in a better way. So I do think that, and I agree with you. Shout out to Reality Diamond. He says, Mary was an enabler of her son's addiction, 100%. 100%. But I think that now that she's being more honest about the situation, and hopefully, just like you said, Freddie, hopefully she's getting help to not enable him, it'll be better. So I'm living for the new Mary because she's happier and she's lighter and she's being more honest about the stuff in her closet. And there's a lot of stuff in there. I think she's much more approachable and more down to earth, and I can receive what she's saying in a much better way. So I'm happy for her. Sending, blessings and encouragement to her son. I hope he gets the helps he needs and everything works out with him and all of that. So I really hope that, they're okay. But I'm living for the new Mary. I don't like that her and Meredith are going to have a falling out. They're not at odds. That pisses me off. I like her and Meredith. I do. I like it when her and Lisa are getting along together. Angie, I'm about to talk about Angie. Ugh. But I want her and Meredith to make up, because why? Like, why are you beefing? I'm confused. Okay. Now, that was Mary. Let's talk about Angie. Angie K. Angie. You know how I said that Brittany is a type of woman that I would never be friends with? Angie is the type of woman I would stop being friends with. Okay? I saw some articles being like, oh, like we need Lisa Barlow and Angie K to get back together as friends. Who? Who needs that? Not me. Hell no, not never, not ever. No, thank you, ma'am. No, thank you. Angie K to me is such a disappointment. Tay said, I'm disappointed. Andy, shout out to Tay. She is such a disappointment. First of all, Angie, you are the new wind up doll. You are giving, what was the foot's name on Beverly Hills? What was her name? Oh, Anna Marie. Anna Marie. You're giving Anna Marie vibes. You are now just a wind up doll that Whitney is feeding into your ear. She's winding you up, and then you're going out and you're regurgitating all of this spew to everybody. Whitney Rose is the Lisa Rinna of this franchise, okay? And if anybody should learn about copying Lisa Rinna, it should be these people. Look at Tamra Judge. Tamra said she liked Lisa Rinna and wanted to be the Lisa Rinna. Well, now you are, because hopefully now you'll be fired too for your antics. Whitney, you're up next, sweetheart, for your antics. She is just going after Lisa for no reason. And Heather said this too. She's like, you keep coming at her, but like, why and for what? Like, you keep coming at her, but like, for why and for what? It doesn't make any sense. First of all, Lisa has done nothing to you, Angie. Like, what are you talking about? Why are you so mad? Like, your level of anger towards Lisa makes zero sense, other than the fact that you don't think for yourself. You're low-key jealous of Lisa, or else why are you so mad and so quick to believe what Whitney tells you? Because clearly Whitney and Angie have gotten together and talked all types of crap about probably Heather too, and Lisa, and wound them up. And because these women have such low self-esteem, they are willing to believe anything that Whitney will say that somebody that they believe is better than them is saying about them negatively. And I'm going to tell you this. Someone like a Lisa or a Heather Dubrow or a Lisa Vanderpump, anybody that you think of as like a Karen and Potomac, anybody that you think of as like that girl of the group, they're not actually worried about you, boo-boo. It's like that saying, nobody doing better than you will ever talk about you, or nobody doing better than you will ever criticize you for trying or for doing what you're doing, right? Because they don't have the time, they're not interested, and they're not threatened. So the fact that Angie and Whitney get together and just basically try and take down Lisa Barlow is really sad, bizarre, and pathetic to me. Like, I don't get it. Angie, you need to get your own mind. You need to stop, chasing after Lisa Barlow like a weird puppy dog. Like, let it go. You should have kept your relationship and friendship with her. Lay off of Meredith. I don't know why you keep going after Meredith. Like, keep her name out your mouth. It's over. Let it go. Really weird and bizarre to me. And also, Angie, shout out to my Greek brothers and sisters out there. Being Greek cannot be your personality. It never works when people make something about themselves their personality. Like, being Greek, it cannot be your whole personality. Like the same way Wendy in Potomac, her degrees was her whole personality. It doesn't work. Okay, cool. You're Greek. Cool. Let it go. Stop. Be proud, be loud, but stop. We get it. It cannot be your whole personality. It's a lot. I still think Angie and her husband, and also very similar to Meredith and her husband, I think they just have an agreement. I think a lot of people do in the world, where it's like, I like you, you like me. Let's just do life together. Whether or not behind the scenes it's a quote traditional marriage, anybody's guess. I don't know. I don't know. But her husband seems really nice, really sweet. They're raising their daughter together. For me, the creepy part was, and again, I'm not a parent, but I am a human being, so I can still think about stuff like this. I personally think that a child sleeping in a parent's bed every single night after the age, I don't know, is it like 1 or 2, is problematic. You know what I mean? I don't mean in like in certain situations, if it's like a 1-bedroom house, single parent, you do what you got to do. Obviously, I'm not talking about those situations. I'm talking about situations where their daughter is like, what, 13, 14 at this point. And didn't last season she was saying that their daughter sleeps with them in the bed every night? What? I'm confused. And to me, I don't even care about your marriage. I'm more concerned about the mental health of your child. Is that healthy for a teenager to be sleeping with their parents every night? I don't think it is. I mean, I guess I have to read a parenting book, but I'm just going to guess no. I'm just going to guess that's not good. I don't know. That's what I have to say on that. That's weird and bizarre. But that's kind of where I land on Angie. Like, I personally don't need Angie on the show. Like, what is she bringing? You're fighting with Lisa Barlow. Join the club. Join the club. Everybody who wants to be relevant, who wants to make a statement, who wants to have storyline, goes after Lisa. Because if you go after Lisa, you have a baked-in storyline. Heather did it. Mary did it. Whitney is doing it. Even Meredith did it. Monica did it. Bronwin's trying to do it now. And she's still standing. Angie, to me, I don't need it. I don't need it. Okay. Let's get to Bronwin and then we'll do Meredith. Okay. Now, Bronwin. Bronwin. We know the song Money Can't Buy You Class. More like money can't buy you self-worth. I look at Bronwin and her energy to me, and correct me if I'm wrong, I want to know your thoughts. Bronwin to me has such nervous energy. She just always seems very nervous, very on edge, very showy. Again, your personality is your age gap with your husband. Like, every conversation can't be you laughing about how old your husband is. Oh, I'm sleeping with someone who could have gout. Oh my God, I wasn't even alive then. Oh my God. Oh my. Stop. You've been with this man how many years now? Stop. Your husband's age and your age gap cannot be your whole personality, a whole shtick. I don't think we have yet to see the real Bronwin. I think that she has been giving a caricature of herself, of a housewife. I think that she's very nervous. I think that thou dost protest too much. I think that she really cares about what the other women think of her and what the audience thinks of her. I think that her whole fashion, this is couture, there's only 3 of these in the world. I don't care. It's still ugly. It looked good on Rihanna, but it looks bad on you. I'm sorry. It's still ugly. I don't care if you spent $10 or 10 million on it. It's still ugly. It is what it is. I think that she is very insecure, and I think that she kind of has imposter syndrome. I think that she thinks that, and this isn't good because I don't believe this to be true, but I think this is what she thinks of herself. I think she feels she kind of like lucked up with the husband, and she has never felt like she belonged in that world. And so instead of working on her self-esteem and self-worth to know that you didn't luck up, sweetheart, he did. You are the prize. You are enough. You are worthy. You are everything and all of that. I don't care how much money this man has. I don't care how old he is. You are the prize, girl. You always are. Love yourself. Get that confidence, get that glow, get a little bit of Lisa Barlow in you, right? Get a little bit of Lisa Barlow in you. And so you wouldn't be such a hater. You would love yourself. But I think that she overcompensates for feeling like, I don't belong here. I'm a fraud. This is like, what's it called? Imposter syndrome. She overcompensates. She talks so much about the money. She talks so much about the art. She talks so much about the husband and so much about this because she's overcompensating for not feeling like she actually belongs. And so that's what I think I'm picking up on her. And unfortunately, to me, that makes her very unlikable because I don't think I'm actually getting a real person. I don't think that we are actually seeing who she really is. And another thing that pisses me off with her is, why are you so quick to turn on Lisa Barlow when number one, Lisa Barlow she's supposed to be your friend, and Lisa Barlow also brought you on the show. Now this cuts both ways. Number one, I don't think just because you're friends with someone or someone brings you on the show, you don't be like a Anna Marie and you become a wind-up doll and you just be a mouthpiece for someone and don't have a brain. I don't mean that either. And I don't mean that you have to be blindly loyal to somebody. I don't mean that either. I just mean have some integrity. That if this person is your friend, they bring you on the show, and they've literally done nothing to you, why would you then continuously badmouth them and bash them and twist and turn everything they say around as if they're the bad guy? Do you know what I mean? Like, to me, that's just like no sense of loyalty, no sense of integrity of yourself, and such a red flag. So, just like I said before, a woman like Angie, I would stop being friends with. Same thing with Bronwin. I would stop being friends with a woman like that. Because women who are like Bronwin, who are like Angie, who are like a Brittany, who are like that, those are dangerous people to have that are actually close to you. Sure, you can do a brunch, maybe even a shopping spree, dinner and drinks, see him out, sure. But to actually be close to you and to have in your circle and to trust, absolutely not. Because they don't love themselves enough to be a good friend to you. Because you aren't doing anything. You're just living your life and you're doing you. But because they don't love themselves and they don't have enough self-esteem, they're always going to put you on a pedestal. So then if you put someone on a pedestal, you're always going to think they're looking down on me, they're talking bad about me, they think they're better than me. I'm going to have to take them down a peg or two to make myself feel better. Even though that's not how you feel at all. Lisa Barlow is just living her life. Heather Dubrow living her life. Lisa Vanderpump living her life. Karen over in Potomac, the Rondon living her life. But yet everybody is like, I can't think of anybody like that in New York because, and we'll get to New York. We'll do a live on New York too. I don't think any of those girls are really that girl. And I think that's what's missing in New York. Miss me with Jenna Lyons. She's not Jenna effing, who cares? No, I'm sorry, Jenna, you're not that girl. You're not. And we're missing that it factor. Bryn is trying to be it, but we'll get more into that when we do New York. Yeah, so that's kind of where I land with Bronwin. I think we have yet to see the true Bronwin. Even on Watch What Happens Live, to me, she was still being very performative. I don't think she's a bad person. I just don't think she's an authentic person. I think there's still something going on there. And it's just weird. It's just weird. Okay. Now let's go to Meredith. I like Meredith. Now, this might be a controversial thought because I really like Meredith. No, let me take that back. We do need Meredith. I do. We do need Meredith. I like Meredith. I will say this. It warmed my heart like a chewy chocolate chip cookie that Lisa and Meredith are friends again and that they made their pact that if anybody comes between us, we come to each other first. And they didn't. And I was like, yes, thank you, Jesus. Yes. So exciting. So when they were on that dumb trip to Milwaukee, I'm sorry, the trip, anyway, no disrespect to anybody from Milwaukee. Obviously not. But for a trip for Housewives, you get what I'm saying. No disrespect to people in Milwaukee, obviously. Okay. But when they're in Milwaukee and Whitney and Angie, it was Whitney and Angie, right? Came to Meredith and was like trashing Lisa, trying to get her like, oh, she's saying this, she's doing that, blah, 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 blah. I am so happy that these women are emotionally intelligent enough to say, oh, okay, so you're coming to me with someone that Angie, you and Lisa were just BFFs rocking it real tight. Whitney, we know that you're stabbing Lisa in the back and you're coming after her. Now you're going to come to me out of the blue and tell me all this stuff. Instead of just believing it, hook, line, and sinker, like a dodo brain, She was like, well, I'm going to actually go to Lisa and have a conversation with her and see what the truth is before I turn on my good girlfriend. And I love how at the table they were like, no, we're good. We talked through stuff and we said if anybody comes between us, and then they tag team them. And I was like, yes. And it was glorious. To me, that was such a yummy, amazing moment when Lisa Barlow and Meredith Marks were back together, being those girls and sticking it to them, giving it to Angie, giving it to Whitney. When they got together and they teamed up and was like, no, I was like, yes, this is it. This is gold. Because that to me is fun to watch. Women who are smart, intelligent, confident, they are that girls. They're not going to let you feed me a line of BS and I'm just going to go and while out on TV because Whitney whispered something in my ear. I'm talking to you, Angie. I'm talking to you, Bronwin. That is when you see the difference between women who are emotionally intelligent, confident, and have high self-esteem versus women who have issues they need to work out with their emotional intelligence and low self-esteem. You see the difference in how they move and how they operate. Meredith and Lisa operate on a very different level than how a Bronwin or an Andrew or a Whitney operate. And notice it has nothing to do with money. It has nothing to do with name brands. It has nothing to do with logos or any of that stuff. And that's why it's not to get too woo-woo, but I'm into like all that stuff. It's energetic. It's an energetic difference. When someone's like, when Lisa's just like, I am who I am, what? Rather than Bronwyn, who's like, oh my God, this costs like $2 million and my husband is 100 years old. My name's Bronwyn. It's like weird and bizarre. Like, I don't even know. It's horrible. That was probably horrible. But you guys know what I mean. Stop. But I'm liking Meredith. I know I saw, and I hope I'm wrong on this, but I saw that Meredith was getting backlash because she wanted to do her, is it bat mitzvah for girls or bar mitzvah? Because I know it's like bat for boys and bar for girls, one of the two. If I inverted that, I apologize. But she wants to get her mitzvah. And people are like giving her, to me, stop it. I personally think it's beautiful that she, especially with all the anti-Semitism that has been going on in the world, I think it's beautiful that she's bringing that aspect of herself and her culture and her religion to the show as an adult, being like, as an adult, I'm finding this and I'm doing, and this is what I'm doing. And she's doing everything. I think it's beautiful. If people are like, oh, it's for a storyline, well, then good. Then maybe that's a good storyline to have. It's better than we're being sued for fraud. We defrauded victims. That's our storyline. It's a better storyline than, I'm going to prison, for telemarketing for 50 years, or my husband has been cheating on me and surprise, or I'm in a fake lesbian relationship storyline. It's so much better to be like, well, let's explore Judaism and my Jewish faith and talk about that as an adult than it is for any of that other stuff. So I'm here for it. So anybody bashing her about that, you better stop in your tracks. So I'm excited to see that. So that's kind of where I land on the season so far. So season 5, episode 1 through 5, that's kind of where I land on all the girls. Lisa Barlow, she's still my ace boon coon. She's my favorite person on the show in life ever. Love her. And I hope she continues to shine. And I want to continue to see, that's another thing. When Angie came, this is another thing that pisses me off when they do like fake comparisons. So when Lisa said about Angie, oh yeah, well, when I'm on the phone and then you say, I forgot Angie's daughter's name. When you say your daughter's name and you have to go talk to her just to get off the phone with me. And then Angie's like, how dare you come after my parenting? Like, I'm so there for my daughter. My mom wasn't there for me. I'm confused. Again, Angie Dodo, what? How is saying that when I'm on the phone and you want to get me off, you say, oh, I have to go talk to my kid. How is that talking about your parenting skills? You then turned around and attacked Lisa about her son, saying she's not a present parent. She lets the computer while her son is doing video games, be the babysitter and blah, 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 and all this stuff. You went after her. And that's another thing, you guys. When you think you have a friend, but it's Mad Day, and they start listing out all these things that have nothing really to do with what they're allegedly mad about, that person has been harboring that jealousy, hatred, and resentment towards you probably for your entire friendship. So be very, very careful when you have a misunderstanding with anybody, really, whether it's a friend, family member, coworker, stranger, whatever, and they have a ready, set, go list of every little thing they want to come at you about. That person has been harboring that against you for a long time. So be very, 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 very careful about that. Be very, very, very careful. Hey, Nataski. And it's like, and you're like, oh, this is how you feel. Exactly. It's like, oh, so this is how you really feel about me. So be careful on Mad Day when people tell you what's going on and any type of misunderstanding and they have that laundry list. Watch out. Watch out. Miss T says, Angie in that fake chair moved too much. I mean, she keeps copying Lisa. She had the same heart earrings Lisa did. Lisa in the first episode got up and pushed the chair. Then all of a sudden, episode 4, Angie's pushing a chair. Like she has no original thought, no original anything going on. Like Angie girl, bye, sit down, stop. So yeah, so that's kind of where I feel on that. Again, apples to oranges. Lisa saying you say your daughter's name to get off the phone has nothing to do with your parenting skills. But then for Angie to read her for filth to heaven. Now, there was a poll on Watch What Happens Live. And it was like, oh, is Heather being a good friend or a pot stirrer by telling Lisa what Angie said about her parenting skills? And even though those polls, I'll just say allegedly are fake, because number one, if you're live on TV, nobody's sitting, like the polls are fake. They're basically the PA, production assistants are over there doing it. The questions are fake and the polls are fake. But according to the poll, they said that she was being a pot stirrer. I disagree. If you are my friend and someone is sitting there who you know I'm beefing with and who used to allegedly be my friend, has a laundry list of everything they cannot stand about me, and they're laughing about it, they're kikiing about it, it's on camera, and you don't tell me, then I'm going to look at you a different type of way. So I don't think Heather was a pot stirrer. Yes, I do think that's one of Heather's jobs on the show. It's kind of like a producer fave to stir the pot, to drop the tea, to carry the bone, 1,000%. But with that being said, if she had not carried that bone to me, then I would also be looking at Heather differently. Because trust and believe, with my girlfriends, and you're going to sit there and you're going to be like, oh, Candy, they're going to be like, oh, really? Oh, really? They're probably like texting me like right there. Because that's what a real one does. That's what a real one does, okay? So I think she was being a good friend, and I'm living for it. I'm living for the Lisa Barlow, Heather Gay friendship. I'm living for it. So that's kind of where I stand with everybody. Brittany is a hot, weird mess. Whitney, ugh. I'm for Whitney to go. She's doing too much and doing the most. All right. So that's kind of how I feel, guys. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. And yeah, we are back. I'm going to be doing OC tomorrow night. I'm going to be doing the OC tomorrow night. Click on notifications so you get notified when I go live. I'm going to try to go live as early as I can, early evening as I can. But if it gets bumped a little bit, I apologize. I'm trying to do the best I can. But tomorrow we'll be doing the OC. Monday we'll do Potomac. And Wednesday we'll be doing New York. Yeah, so we're back, you guys. So as always, be sure to like, subscribe, and share. So with that, I will drop the link in case anybody wants to come up and chat with me. No worries if not. And then I will take some of your Candy Cane questions and comments. Yay, Tay says welcome back, Candy. Thank you. It's good to be back, you guys. It's really good to be back. It was nice. It was such a nice break. I had felt that Bravo had gotten to be it was too toxic for a while. It was just really toxic and dark. And I just energetically, personally needed to take a break. Hey,
Hey,
what is up?
how are
Wait,
you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am very well. All the better to speaking with you.
You too. You too. Let me see. I forgot how I did this. Wait, hold on. No, that's not it. There, that's how we used to do it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot. Yay. Okay, sound off.
Oh, well, I have to admit, I agree with pretty much everything you've said. I think the first one I'm going to have to start off with is Angie. I think the reason that she's flipped on Lisa Barlow is that actually she couldn't stand being the second fiddle. And last season, so many of the Salt Lake City fans were saying that she was a Lisa Barlow arse kisser and that she was just doing anything to be close to Lisa. And she's sort of thinking, well, I need to change my strategy because I don't want to be called that. So, what I'm going to do is I don't want to team up with Meredith, don't like her. You know, not met. So I'll team up with the other weakest link being Whitney Rose, and I'll be the weak crew against the stronger crew being Lisa and Meredith, I think is what she's decided to do.
I love that you said the weak crew.
I mean, they are. I mean, what else do you call them? And
Agreed.
and I am sick to death of Whitney talking about her healing or healing journey, as she calls it. I mean, she talks very weirdly. And with Whitney, she is so messy. The reality of the situation is that, yes, that Giorgio says talked about it. Dana Wilkie did an even bigger deep dive. Adam, I believe, probably got his information off Dana Wilkie. Now, I do know that Lisa Barlow doesn't really like people who like Monica, understandably so. So I think maybe, yeah, Lisa and Adam don't get on well. And that maybe that's why Adam potentially said that Lisa was the one that leaked the stories. But I know for a fact that Lisa definitely didn't. She's not, I don't think, the type of person that would do that. However, there is a housewife on Salt Lake City, and that's Whitney Rose. She is known to leak stories about people, mainly about Lisa Barlow and Meredith. And I think Dana may have in the video said, "Oh, Whitney sent this to me," and it was the Lisa Barlow lawsuit about this ex owner of a restaurant that she had years ago. Whitney is guilty of what she's accusing Lisa Barlow of doing.
100%. Whitney is a snake. I'm telling you, it's like the Lisa Rinna effect. It's like now
And
each
yeah,
person has to be one. It's crazy. Keep going, and
and
then we'll have Natasha, but you keep
and
going.
then Lisa's, and then Whitney's husband, Grandad Rose. I can't cope with him, and with with this business, Whitney and her husband, they're liars. The fact is that their marriage was built on lies because weren't they cheating on their other respective spouses when they got together? They are the
Yep.
definition of liars, in my opinion. I mean, the amount of pyramid schemes he's been a CEO of and all the dodgy businesses that she's allegedly owned, I wouldn't trust either of them as far as I could throw them. I would not want to be in business with them in any way, shape, or form. I wouldn't even want to be a secretary for any of their businesses, put it that way. So, whatever they say about other people, whatever tea they try and serve about people or people they get involved, I really would strongly advise against trusting it in any way, shape, or form.
I agree on all fronts, 100%.
As for Heather, I
Mhm.
do like her. I'm liking her more this season. However, I do feel that she is just a bit too desperate to be Lisa Barlow's friend. I I think she, I think because Lisa is sort of like one of the cool people at college, and Heather was sort of one of the more like, I don't know, good time Mormon girls. She's sort of, Heather's always was sort of this the fat chubby girl that was wanting to be part of the cool gang but never was. And I think now she's sort of in a group with Lisa and she's lost weight. She sort of is desperate to be a part of that. And that's why she's so close. Why that's why she's wanting to really be close with Lisa. But I think, yeah. I mean I'm interested in seeing their friendship grow, and I think, yeah, I think that's good.
I
As for
agree.
Meredith, um yeah, I mean, interesting one with her. I still can't believe, I was shocked at the fact that she actually wasn't in this last episode 5 at all. Maybe that's to do with the fact that allegedly Meredith doesn't actually really live in Salt Lake City, and she lives between Chicago, New York, and Florida, allegedly. I think might be the reason.
That's a
And
good point because they're always like, you rent, and it's always like Airbnbs or something.
yeah, and it's
Mhm.
because of the fact that, well, allegedly she does not live in Salt Lake City anymore. And yeah, and I just don't know how long that charade can work for. You know, A- are they looking at maybe moving her on somewhere else because of the fact she wasn't in this episode at all? I found that really weird. Although I like Meredith, and I think after Lisa Barlow, she probably is the second best person on the show. I don't feel at the moment she's got much going on at all. Like, I like Meredith, but I
I
do
agree
feel
with you.
she's.
Because I almost said, like, do we still need her? Like, that was almost like what I wanted to say. Like, do we really still need her? But then I was like, but I really like her. And I like her and Lisa.
And I mean, a lot of people are thinking that. I mean, yeah, I mean, I've seen a couple of other people in this space that said the same thing of, do we need Meredith? Is her spot really attainable on this show anymore? How does that work? Who else do we have? Oh, Brittany. I mean, I cannot deal with her. She I've never come across someone that's so obsessed with having a man. And she's obsessed with this Gerald Oswald or Osmond guy, whatever the hell he's called. And this is someone who's a bit like Tamra Judge in that their daughters hate them. They choose weird men over their families. Um, she needs a therapist. She needs a lot of help, and she wants to blame everyone else. She's willing to even blame Lisa Barlow for her relationship with this Osmond guy going wrong. I've never seen someone so naive about relationships. Um, you've been called a bestie, not the guy's girlfriend. He clearly is interested in Angie K's brow girl a lot more than you are, than he is into you. And it's time to move on. But I don't think she ever will do that.
Yeah. And she's an energy vampire because she doesn't care about anybody else. All she talks about is that weird guy.
This Oswald Osmond guy, yes,
Yeah.
exactly. And what I have been loving Mary Crosby for is calling her out, saying we don't give a fuck. I want my 5 minutes back of the time you're wasting of telling us all about this relationship that doesn't work, and we all know that you're probably going to get back with him or lie about if you're with him, aren't you? Whatever, who knows? But with Mary, yes, she has been a lot more interesting. I agree. However, I don't buy into her character. And the reason I say that is due to the
Ooh.
fact that we know this is not her, and I think she's acting this way because she's been told, look, you, as a friend, you were not taking part, you weren't interesting. If you want to be a housewife and you want to have a spot on this show, you've got to be getting involved and involving yourself in the activities with the women. And Mary sort of needs this show more than she used to due to the fact that the church is shut down. So she actually does need that paycheck now. And so she's like, ooh, if I want to maintain this lifestyle, I do need an income. And, being a housewife is a good income.
That is such a good point, because I was and I think Miss T said that the church shut down in 2022.
Yeah,
So
that's correct.
yeah, that is such a good point. She showed up, and she's showing up because you're right. She does need the income, and I do think that she's. I get what you're saying about her still kind of being like weird, but I think that lighterness we're getting from her is because whatever demon was riding her from what she did to her grandmother maybe got off her once the church was shut down.
I mean, apparently she is still doing church stuff, but
Oh
it's not
God.
in the same capacity that it was in. However, what I did hear was one of the big stipulations that was on Mary's terms for her coming back as a full time housewife was that they're not allowed to use the church and the cult activities as a storyline. And with Robert, the marriage, it's not really there. I mean, there was rumors of divorce. They're not getting divorced, but they are separated apparently, and allegedly he does live in Florida. They live completely separate lives allegedly.
Yeah, I feel like they've been doing that. Like pre-COVID, because remember she was like he was in Florida and she was there by herself and she started talking to herself. Remember
Yeah,
she was saying all that stuff, which is crazy. No, I agree. I agree.
and I think they stay together for the money, for the assets, and that it's easier to do that, and that they're both happy to be married. Mary lives her life in Salt Lake City. He lives his own life in Florida. And, they've got their assets. They're making money off all these properties that Mary's grandmother bought, the church, whatever. And that works for them and good for them. I think Mary, we're seeing a more vulnerable side to her. I do think she needs to admit that she's probably one of the biggest enablers out there to her son. Like, you can't just think it's acceptable for your son not to work and give him money. Like, of course, he's going to be doing things like, you know, substances if you're not, if he's got no incentive to go out and work hard and earn his own money. And like, I've seen so many people that are rich that do this. They've been so spoiled all their lives, and they've never been made to work for anything in their own life. They just become lazy and have addictions because they have no purpose. So
Exactly.
yeah.
Yep.
And then with Bronwyn, I mean, I couldn't put it better than you put it. I mean, she's one of these people, she's one of these new money people that sort of think, if I spend thousands of pounds or millions or billions of pounds on something, that means it's nice, and that means, everyone should love it and it's fashionable. And, I don't care what fashion runway, if it's been on New York Fashion Week, London, Milan Fashion Week, whatever. I don't care if Valentino, Dior, or which designer made it. How can anyone think wearing a bloody hot dog costume is couture in any way, shape, or form? I'm sorry. And then, yeah,
Agreed.
I have to agree. The husband seems to be that sort of her. I think she married the husband because he's a safe bet. She got left by the guy that she had the child with, and Todd, her husband, he's older, he's got money, and he gives her that stability that she didn't get from the father of her daughter. So it's money and stability, I think, and knowing that she's got the upper hand, is that she's the attractive young wife, he's not going to leave her.
100%. 100%. But then still, she just smells of insecurity to me. Like that, like nervousness. And like when people talk about how much they spend on something and all, it just, it's repulsive.
I agree, and she's sort
Repulsive.
of trying to copy Erica Jane in that way, but in a
Yeah.
just a nervous wreck type of way. And that, Erica Jane did the story of having the much older husband and the ridiculous outfits and all of this type of stuff. And Bronwyn just seems to be doing a bit of a budget nervous wreck version of it, but just based in Utah, and it just really is not landing well. I think she needs to realize that wearing ugly couture outfits and having a much older husband is not a storyline.
That part. And going after Lisa, like that always pisses me off when one woman is good to another woman and she just turns on her like that.
I agree.
Ugh, there's a special
Because
place in hell for women like
all of
that.
these women know that because Lisa Barlow is the MVP of this show, in my opinion, she's actually one of the best casted Bravo housewives in the last 10 years, I would argue. I think she is that good. Um, they know that they're going to get good content because Lisa doesn't mess around. If you go for her, she's going to go full New Yorker mode on you. And I think Bravo, and they all know that Bravo value her. At the end of the day, she was approached by Bravo and NBC back in 2013 about the show, but because her youngest son was so young, Lisa was like, "Oh no, I don't." So the fact that they were willing to wait for Lisa Barlow to be ready, that shows how much Bravo and NBC value her and how they know and believe that she is an integral part to this show, which she is.
1,000%. 1,000%. And I was saying this before, and I'll talk about it tomorrow when we talk about OC. I wish Heather Dubrow would sip on whatever Lisa Barlow is sipping on. Because Heather Dubrow, like her or not, she is that girl, but she still has that low self-esteem where she's letting the girls who are clearly intimidated and jealous of her knock her off her game. Like, why is she peddling to Tamara Judge? Like, what? Anyway, I don't even want to go down that rabbit hole yet. But keep going, Freddie, and then we'll let Natasha chime in.
I think that Heather's a bit similar to Bronwyn in that she uses money as her whole brand and her whole storyline of, yeah, I'm rich, I've got an expensive house, and we've just bought this expensive Beverly Hills house. I think Heather knows that Tamara is just so unhinged and vile. She's so worried that if she puts a foot wrong, Tamara's going to go on full unhinged mode on her and start spreading rumors and saying stuff that Heather does not want out there. So I think she's willing to toe the line and play to Tamara's tune if it means Tamara doesn't talk about her. That's definitely my opinion on that.
Yeah, it's a good one. It's a good one.
But
Okay,
yes,
so
she does need to get some advice from Lisa Barlow in terms of dealing with this stuff. She needs to know how to get on good, make comebacks and to just make it clear that she's not going to bow down to anyone. She's going to set the rules and she's going to run at her own pace. And I think that, and I do think with most of these housewife shows, the casting is so bad. There just aren't people that are authentic, that have money, have businesses, have a family, but are confident as well. We're getting so many of these boring people. And I think the big problem that we've got in the whole housewives world is we've got all of these casting people and executive producers that care about how many followers they've got on Instagram, how many likes they've got on, TikTok. Whereas we don't care about that. We want to see rich, authentic women.
100%. Natasha,
So
you want
yeah.
to share?
Oh, hello.
Hey,
Oh my God, I missed you guys.
Missed you
missed you
too.
too.
I know. I've been
Yeah,
craving to go live. I was like, I need to go. I need to go. And I was like, you know what?
I know. I saw you live. I was like, what in the?
I was like,
I
it
was
is
like, click, 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 click.
sound up.
Yeah, I was basically agreeing with everything Freddie was saying. I was like, yep, yep. You can see my comments. I was like, I was trying to think. Like, you were making me laugh with the nervous wreck version of Erica.
It's true.
I think you're totally right about Mary. Not like all of a sudden like needing the job. And I'm not sure. Did y'all hear about her potentially them actually going through a divorce finally or no? Or did I make that up?
They denied that. That isn't happening. That was just a rumor that was out there.
Oh, okay. Well, um, yeah, she's totally is enabling her son. I can't stand Brittany. She is one of those people that are so clueless and desperate that you can't even help her or much less like be around her because she'll like just drag you down to like go to the direction that she feels like she delusionally needs to go, aka who you call the weird guy. I was laughing to at that. He is weird and he's such a God, like, did you guys see him like talk to her? I was just like, "Okay, you're calling her
It
your
was
friend.
it
Are you
was
serious right now?"
it was so cringy because you could see how like excited she was to like be in his presence and all that stuff. And he was basically just like, I feel bad. He basically was like, "You're crazy. You're crazy. That's what he was saying to her. But
You
she
can
was
tell he looks at her like a joke, and it's
when she
sad.
was like, "You don't make me feel safe." He was like, "What?" He's like, "You we're just not getting it. We're not on the same page. This is all I can give you." And she's like, "Yeah, that's it." It's just like, girl, if he isn't posting you publicly, if he isn't claiming you, if he
Let goes your hand. That's crazy.
strategically calls you best friend buddy, girl, how is that Lisa Barlow's or anybody's fault? I was with Mary. She was like, well, leave me out of this. Too much.
And I'm like, Lisa, I've been that girl that like, and I don't do this anymore because of it, but I've like stuck up for people like this. And then they throw me under the bus when it like, I'm like, oh no, we're not doing this. Like, I just stuck up for you because you've been literally running our like ears to the ground talking about this person to the point where now I'm emotionally invested. I feel bad for you. So like I'm offering some assistance because clearly you don't know how to like stick up for yourself. And then you're gonna throw me under the bus because he manipulates you again. I'm like, goodbye. Like it's the worst. She's one of those. That's why you just need to like not even engage with her. And when she's like, I guess I shouldn't even talk to you guys about this, and they're all like, thank you.
Please don't. It's called the drama triangle. So it's like the narcissist, him, would be like the perpetrator, and she would play the victim, and then the third person would be like the protector, like the protector person. So as long as she gets to play the victim to you, and he's the perpetrator, oh, it's bad. But then the moment he's like, no, I want you back, baby, and then all of a sudden he becomes the protector, she gets to play victim with him, and then they gang up on you.
Yeah, because they're
Never
desperate to win the
they're
affection at
desperate
like
to win.
any means.
And they're addicted to the drama. They're addicted to chaos.
Mm-hmm.
Hell no, never. Hey Tay Tay, we'll let Natasha keep going, and then you can chime in, Tay Tay.
I've got work tomorrow and it
Okay,
is late here, but so good to see you all.
you too.
Good to see you, Freddie.
I'll be doing OC tomorrow, so come, come, come.
I'll be sure to join. See
Okay.
you all soon. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Good to see you.
Bye.
What else? Bronwin. Yeah, like as soon as she turned on Lisa, I was like, goodbye. Mm-mm. I'm trying to think who else. Yeah, Whitney. Whitney needs to go. She just she's not enjoyable to watch. She just comes across very desperate, deranged. It's just like she gives me anxiety. Just like she kind of has the crazy eyes, and it genuinely just gives me anxiety. Like I feel like I'm like just looking at a woman that's not well and just like very desperate to just stir up stuff to like be on this show and get acceptance. And she's like weaponizing her like healing journey is getting on my last nerve. Like every time it's just too much. I can't. But yeah, I think that's about it. Tay Tay.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
Oh
Everything
wait,
you
one thing. But like
Oh,
Heather,
yeah.
I agree with Heather thing. I'm like almost not mad about Heather. Like I know Heather, we all talked about how Heather always wanted to be Lisa's friend. Like at the end of the day, regardless of whether she was coming for or not. If she could, she would, you know? And now that she has, I'm like, she is being a good friend to her, and I'm not mad about it. You know what I mean? All right, Tay Tay.
I agree. Thank you, Natasha. So good to hear your voice again.
I know, right?
I know. Good.
You too.
Hi, hi, Candy. Oh yeah, you.
Hi.
Oh, alright. So, I'm enjoying Salt Lake City. You know, Lisa Barlow's the queen. You know, I'm team Lisa. I'm glad that Lisa and Meredith are back together. They're friends again. You know, I love the tag team between them and Angie Whitney. Like Angie, I like you, but I'm pretty disappointed in you turning on Lisa for Whitney. Like Lisa didn't deserve that. And Whitney Rose, you know, I'm with you. You've been right about Whitney Rose all along, and she is kind of like the Lisa Rinna of the show, just like Margaret Josephs is the Lisa Rinna of New Jersey. Tamara Judge, who we're not gonna say too much on that today. I have a lot more to say on that tomorrow's video. Tam Tamara Judge is Lisa Rinna of OC. Like Whitney, your time's up. Your time's up. Brittany, Brittany and Jared, like, I'm done. Like Mary said to Brittany the other week, like, what about the kids? Stop worrying about Jared. Like, Jared don't want you. Like, he don't care about you. Like, just, and I didn't like how Brittany threw Lisa under the bus. Like, Lisa was trying to help you out. Like, why you mad at her?
Lisa got her on the show. Like, that's where I'm just like, that just pisses me off so much. Like, you don't have to kiss anybody's butt or be blindly loyal. But if a woman, particularly women, women to women, helps me in any way, whether it's like professionally or personally, in a way that is truly meaningful, even if I stop liking her, we have a falling out, I would never actively go against them because I would be like, well, I know what they did for me. I can just be neutral in the situation. I don't have to rock with somebody I don't rock with, but I'm not going to actively go against anybody. And that's what Bronwin's doing. It's just like, for what? Lisa did nothing to you. Hey,
Yeah,
Adam. We'll let Tete keep going, and then we'll get to you, Adam.
yeah. Speaking of blowing, like, at the beginning, I didn't like how she went against Lisa and Heather, and until she redeemed her, in my opinion, at the latest episode when she and Gwen, her daughter, talk about the family differences. Like that warmed me so much, and more Mary Cosby. You know, I haven't liked Mary Cosby, but this is the best I've seen so far, in my opinion. Whitney Rose, more Whitney. Um, Whitney, did you see on at least episode when she's trying to like reach out to Adam, who has a podcast with Monica? Did
I know.
did you catch
Oh,
that?
you know what? They do, and you know what? That's such a good part because there's been like scenes where they're flash forwarding. I think that's going to cause a huge rift between Heather and Whitney. because there's
Yeah.
this one part where Heather's like, I can't believe you reached out to our sworn enemy. And you're so right, because Monica and Adam do have a podcast together. So that's going to be some stuff to come up. Good catch, Tay-Tay.
Yeah, I caught that. And Meredith, I'm Team Meredith, on the whole Jewish stuff. Like, these people are out of their minds. Angie liked the skull, but like I said, missed me with the whole team up with Whitney against Lisa. And Heather Gay, I like Heather Gay. I like her, but do I think she's the biggest liar? Like many people saying that she is? No. Like, we've all, like, they all lied about something. Like Mary said, like Mary mentioned in the latest episode, she lied about the black guy, which I agree that Heather lied about the black guy. But what she didn't lie is about the body positivity stuff. Like, so
And there's a difference between withholding information about something that happened to you versus lying on somebody else. So, like, Heather Gay withheld information about who hit her, whereas Whitney lies on other people about what they do. So I think Whitney's such a bigger liar than Heather Gay is. I agree with you.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, thank you, Tay-Tay. So good to see you.
I actually listened to the Monica and podcast once or twice, just because I was being nosy.
Yeah.
And I was like, sorry, Adam, I just want to say, I think I told Adam too. And I was like, I was like, okay, Natasha, just let's not be super biased. Let's just hear. But then it was like, I remember hearing her talk about how her and Whitney are kind of cool. And that then Whitney was being kind of cool to her the last time they saw each other. And
see, Whitney's
I don't know.
Oh yeah. Can I say one thing?
Yeah, of course.
Oh yeah. I remember reading about this, about Monica saying that whenever Whitney was trying to befriend her again, and then Heather Gay saw this, and then she did silence like throat slash and put her middle finger up. That happened at last year's BibleCon. So
yeah, that's when she said that, like,
I kind of believe that.
they all got mad at her because she was nice to Monica or something.
Whitney Rose is a mess. She just needs to go.
She really is. It's exhausting.
It's crazy. Adam.
Hi, Candy.
Hans. Hello, darling.
It's been a while, but I think we all needed a break because these shows were getting
Yes.
too much. These shows
They really were.
too much. Like, I
feel
can't.
so much. I feel so
Yeah,
much better talking
they
about
were.
it now, because I feel like,
especially New Jersey.
yeah, I will never
And the
touch
whole
Jersey with
blogger.
a 10-foot pole. Do you guys know where that from? With a 10-foot pole. No, anyway. Am I the only one who's like a TikTok freak over here? With a 10-foot pole.
Yes. You're the only one. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. I love that.
Anyway, whatever. Okay.
Yeah.
Sound.
Yes. I see how I just missed my other British confidant was here earlier. I don't know with Salt Lake City, but this cast like is a bit all over the place. Lisa Barlow, it hands down to me is the MVP. It's what the show is about. Then followed by, if I had to give a top three, it probably would be Meredith and then Mary Cosby in terms of the actual entertainment and substance. With as you said, Grandad Rose's wife is a mess. I mean, literally, she is. I mean, she makes Lisa Renner look normal. Like, that's how bad she is to me. Like, she is just fake, and I don't really know what to think about this Brittany person. To me, it's kind of like the Jacqueline girl from Potomac. Like, no one asked for this. Like, to me, like, I think you're just not only boring, but and plain, but you're pretty confusing. Like half the time you're congratulating these women, and then we see in the preview for next week's episode that she tries to flip at Lisa Barlow, saying that it's all on her. Like, to me, I don't understand that. Like, go back to school, like learn how to socialize with people. To me, and Whitney also needs a lesson in that. With what's weird is that I don't quite understand why Meredith was hardly in this episode. To me, like, she's one of the most realist ones on the show. I mean, you have Angie K always throwing shade, saying she doesn't own a home, and she's a renter. But other than the side that she doesn't own a home, she lives in the best district out of all of them. I'll give that props to Meredith. She lives in where Jen Shah used to base, in the Park City. What do you think about the whole Angie K trying to seek relevancy by doubling down with Grandad Rose?
Angie K seeking relevancy on any level to me is a farce and is laughable, and she will never be relevant, and she will never, ever surpass or even try to level up to Lisa Barlow. Like, it's a joke. Like, the thing with Angie K is, like, she seems like, first she was like tofu. Like, she was there, had no flavor, soaked up whatever was around her. But now she's kind of like old stinky fish that like smells too bad. It's like doesn't taste good. It's bland, but it smells really bad. Not her physical smell, obviously. I've never smelled her, but like
Stop. I never smelled her. Just to let you know.
We didn't need that clarification.
Yeah, she's like, just like, no, I've
Stop.
never smelled her.
That was too much.
You said that so fast and like.
Anyways, continue. Yeah, thankfully,
it's like
YouTube now knows that Candy Washington didn't physically smell.
I've never smelled Angie K, you guys.
Me neither.
Assuming. But
I bet it smells good though.
She's like a wet blanket. Do you know what I mean? Just like want, always like whiny, always complaining, always has a problem, always has an issue. Lisa, pay attention.
She does have a whitey voice.
It's like, Lisa, this is like, stop it. Stop it.
I wanted to give her a chance last season, but like now I'm just like, girl.
Miss T, I've missed you as well.
No, you guys, the game is back. We got Tay, Tanja, Adam.
The band is back together, y'all.
Vodka, Sandy.
Whether you ask for it or not. I'm just kidding.
We're back. Chocolate Chunks. I love you, Chocolate Chunks. Mwah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Miss Dugan, what's up, sweetheart? Everybody in the chat, what's up? Yeah.
Chocolate Chunk said I had to cancel several friends like Brittany. Me too. I'm just like, I'm sorry, you're deranged and you're trying to drag me into this derangement. Absolutely not. Goodbye.
Yeah,
Block.
Kind of. I'm living for the high life. Like, I want people who are living life and smiling, not people who look to cast you down on them. I mean, the way that she is trying to make Lisa Barlow seem like some psychotic person that ruined her relationship is beyond. If anything, she's the one that needs help. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, Lisa Rinna's therapist after she got fired from Beverly Hills could help. I don't know. Like, to me, like, she's not a sane person. Like, she's someone that I wouldn't even trust giving 1 cent to. Like, she would probably just throw that 1 cent down the drain if she could. Like, that's who she is to me. Forget $1 even.
That wanted everyone involved, making those announcements. Hey guys, just want to let you know, no one cared or even really knew about it. She made like huge efforts to get everyone involved, and then all of a sudden she's like, "That wasn't right. You getting involved? Oh, absolutely not. Goodbye."
No. Brittany's dangerous. She's like the type of girl who would
Very.
She's the type of girl who would like set you up for something.
I was just gonna say that.
Right?
Yes.
She would set you up with something.
She would
like,
do something stupid and then set you, and then like
And then
blame it on
set
you and
you
throw
up.
you under the bus.
Yeah, the way her and that weird Osmond guy went for Lisa, and like how he was like, "Those are private. I can't believe she did this," and like was sick. Like
Yeah.
she's the type of girl that would set you up for like to have.
She's
her man
dangerous.
do
be
something.
around.
No, she's very dangerous. Oh hell no.
And it sounds like I'm being dramatic, but I'm really not. Like, stay away from those kind of people. They aren't harmless.
Sandy
They're
said,
actually very dangerous.
imagine
maybe
knowing
that's why
making
she got
weird
emotional.
guy bestie your storyline on a TV show.
Yeah, very embarrassing.
Very pathetic.
And the reality is, like, no one in
I'm not
the
a
world cares
neutralist.
about Oz.
That ain't me. That's someone else. That's
Oh,
the
it's a
neutralist
different
person.
Adam. It's a different Adam. Yeah.
Wait, Natasha, you said you listened to the Neutralists podcast?
Oh my god. Yeah, I was just being nosy and I was like listening, and I was like, I forget what, but I kind of got turned off because like Monica was saying something. She actually, I had hopes for her maybe like having some like retrospection, and she seemed like she almost was. But then like she started to say something about Lisa, and I was like, all right, here we freaking go. But she did say something about Whitney, how all the girls got mad at her because Whitney, who can't be loyal to save her freaking life and have any backbone whatsoever,
No.
like was like siding with her when they all made a stand on that BravoCon or whatever. And then Whitney, she's just so desperate and just very unstable. It's weird. I don't like it.
This is evil.
I think so too.
Too much.
When other people, like, to me, in episode 4, you had Whitney saying that other people have envy with her life and want her life.
What?
She was trying to imply that she was trying to imply that Meredith, people like Meredith and Lisa Barlow wanted her life, like especially Meredith. She was saying that because Meredith is upset about me.
It's really giving. Like, I'm not a doctor, but it's really giving mental illness.
To me, like, she was thinking that her Alibaba fashion jewelry line, whatever you want to call it, was going to make Meredith cry. Like, I don't know. Like, I mean, to me, I just don't understand this woman. To me, it's almost like she was one of these types that was kind of like, I mean, we all know that Giselle probably watched Atlanta 500 times before she even got on bikini. Whitney gives off the vibes that she watched Beverly Hills and New York like 5,000 times and
like, took notes and practiced.
Let
probably Melissa Gorga from New Jersey.
Yeah, I mean, but Whitney was just like, let me aspire to be some budget Bethany Frankel / Lisa Renner. Like, to me, like I just think her whole ambience around her is just miserable.
I mean, look at her eyes. They scream. Like, if the definition of crazy eye was a person, it was like.
And trying to imply that her life is this top quality. I mean, does Lisa Barlow really think for a second that she wants to be a Grandad Rose? Are you kidding me?
No, it's ridiculous.
I mean, Natasha, do you want to be a Grandad Rose? Like you do.
What do you mean by Grandad Rose? I want to be her husband.
Be with her husband.
Oh no.
No.
Exactly. Like
I would join a convent before that happened.
but to me, like, I just can't with these types of people that think that they're on cloud 9 the whole time. And it's just so wild. And like, I mean, I can't believe what's going on in this whole system. Like, you have these people. I mean, even Vanat's podcast co-host with this
Oh,
let me use this as an excuse to justify my behavior for being an asshole for 24/7.
we're gonna get into that tomorrow.
Oh my god, I was
Oh,
furious.
no.
I
For sure. I mean,
cannot.
Yeah, that's a whole other can of
Oh.
That's a
worms that
whole
we don't
other
have time
sector
for.
of hell.
Oh no. No.
Like she really is a piece of work, but we'll get to that.
Yeah.
That's tomorrow.
That's
But
tomorrow.
Terrifies me.
the point is, these people really come up with like anything. Like you could just say to them like, "Oh well, you know," they can't even like justify a simple apology with any all these franchises like that. You don't have. If they had a franchise where there were people who were actual like true realists, like your Lisa Vanderpump, like your Lisa Barlow,
Yeah.
like your, but then we wouldn't we would actually have.
Hold on for 1 second, my love. Miss T says, when is Potomac? Monday. So I watch on Peacock. So I'm gonna do the lives when the day it airs on Peacock. So since it airs on Monday on Peacock, I'll do the live on Monday night. So Potomac will be Monday. And then Roni will be Wednesday. Tonight, Thursday will be Salt Lake City. And then Friday will be OC.
I can't with the fake New York. I can't. Like that shit.
Just come
Like,
on with me,
Not the
y'all.
fake New York.
I mean, like,
Bryn, ew.
I mean, I can't. Like, to me, even though she's British, that Jessel is just an embarrassment.
Is she British? I feel like she's faking her accent. I'm calling BS. I think Jessel from Jersey.
I think she's like. I think maybe she spent like a year or two of her life in there, and then she's like enhanced it. She's like one of those people that like lives there for like a year, and then all of a sudden has a British
accent.
She
did a semester abroad, and now she's British.
And now she has a British accent. I know.
But to me, like that fake
semester
New York,
abroad.
like I can't. Like, to me, that show is not worth my time. Like,
oh my god,
I'll probably see the Instagram clips, but that. And
we'll just come on
if there's anything worth me shading, then I would shade. But yeah, I'll just come on for the banter, because I mean, like that. I mean, our shade and our banter is better than a whole episode of that bloody show. Like, I mean, at the end of the day, I'm just really frustrated with Beverly Hills. The clown of himself, they Penthouse Andy Cohen, has been teasing Beverly Hills for a whole month now,
right?
And we've been told every damn week, "Oh, the trailer's coming out. Oh, the trailer's coming out." And now, because of unfortunately what happened last night with Liam Payne, R.I.P., they won't see any show being promoted as a brand new show. So we're probably not going to get it in, like, logistically, we're not going to get it until next week. And
maybe we won't get it until November.
I mean, I don't know how.
Not for nothing, that's his last Snapchat. I saw the look in his eyes, and it was like really disturbing. He looked so sad.
Yeah.
His soul.
I mean, there was a lot of things under the surface with that. I mean, that's a whole nother story. But with Beverly Hills, I don't know why, but there's on Wikipedia they already have an expected air date of November 27th. So we're still more than a month away. That supposedly would even be on.
Why did they do that so early? It's so annoying. I don't like how they take so long to put shows out. They start promoting them like months in advance. It's
because they gave us this fake New York show. I mean, this.
It's pretty bad. It's pretty awful.
I mean, the fake New York was like Dubai. I mean, I don't know if you watched Real Housewives of Dubai.
Of course.
But to me, that was a sleeping pill. Like, to me, the ratings in itself said it all. One episode even got less than 200,000.
I watched 2 episodes and then the reunion, literally.
Oh yeah.
I cannot stand Chanel Ayan. Like with every fiber of my being, I cannot
Why
stand.
not?
Are you Tay? Because number
He's
one,
a AN number one fan.
Listen.
she turned on Lisa Milan.
Oh, well, Lisa Milan's fake. I mean, Lisa Milan's fake.
Oh,
Yeah, I
so
think she is so.
blasphemy. But
I,
she-
I, I agree with Adam here.
I did do too, kind of. I'm sorry.
Okay, I love Lisa Milan. Okay, she might be a little plasticky fake, but she's beautiful. I love her. Her husband he could always get it. Anyway, so I love Lisa Milan. But again, I don't think
Yeah, you like her husband. Let's get
he's
it.
hot. I think he's
Yeah, I like
I think
Like
he's
the girl on the show because of her man.
Exactly.
Like, Candy even admitted it that her man's more interesting than her. Okay.
I love her husband. I do. But
You do. You were always loved him. Yeah.
I mean, next year, I mean, didn't you like PK or something as well? I do
like people.
What?
No,
That is an ugly, dirty, vicious lie.
No, I do like people. Not in the way I like.
Not in the way she likes Milan's
I
husband.
like PK more than
Listen,
I like.
comments behave. She doesn't like PK like that. Don't worry.
I think PK is like fun. Like I would like a night out with PK. I think that would be like a time. I think he would be fun. But like,
say that to Freddie. He will be bursting out laughing.
Yeah, you and Freddie may no longer be friends. I'm just kidding.
I know. But I think it would be like fun. No, but for Chanel, it's because I didn't like the way she turned on Lisa. I thought that was really dirty. And I could see in her eyes that she's always had a disdain for Lisa. And for me, it's like women who hold secret animosity toward their
I don't like that.
bestie. And then they take any opportune moment to turn on them and to turn other people against them is really scary and disgusting to me. And I think that if Chanel ever was Lisa's friend, she wouldn't have done her so dirty this season. Like Lisa or not, I just mean like the situation itself. I was looking at Chanel all types of crazy. And if you go back and look at Chanel's face, look at her eyes, look at the way she looks at Lisa, you can tell she doesn't really like her. But yet you've been in this woman's face in her house with her children, with her man for years, but you don't actually like this woman at all.
Yeah, that's awful. I hate people like that.
I mean, to me, it's
Brooke said it all. She was like, look at her. She's like, she's sweating insecurity and fear.
It's like cold-blooded.
Brooks is too much for me.
She does the same thing Whitney does. She weaponizes her trauma and her fake tears and being the loudest in the room to skirt any type of accountability. You say anything to Chanel she doesn't like, she's crying, she's going over the top, she's, making fun of Africa, which
I'm not a victim. Yeah, like, all that.
Africa, and we climbed the trees and we have the goats. It's just like, sweetheart, you live in Dubai and you've been married to a very white man for like 25 years.
White American, too.
I'm super confused why you talk about Africa like it's this horrible place. Africa is beautiful and rich and amazing and full and it flourishes. And you should have a sense of pride of where you come from. But when she kind of does that little backhanded, like, oh, I'm from Africa. Where does you feel like do with the bottles? And
that's true. She does actually talk down about it a lot.
All the time. And I'm
off-putting.
Like, and I'm super confused by it. I'm like,
Africa I wouldn't be the... I don't know, but with Dubai in general, though, it's just slow. I mean, it kind of
nothing happened.
And to me, the only thing that I somewhat liked about it was literally just seeing that there was all these lovely real estate. I mean, that's what interests me. When the real estate,
of course,
when the real estate is more interesting than any of the women's personalities, that kind of says it all. Like, I mean, but to me, that was a sleeping pill, and I don't know, like it.
They did them dirty too, waiting like 2 years.
That's the only thing I kind of feel bad for.
Like we all felt like forgot about them, and then they're going to give us that season. We're like, what's going on?
And like to me, I don't know, but that show was just all over the place, and that brand new girl, I forgot her name.
Talene. I like her.
To me, she was just a yes man.
The Armenian.
I'm sorry. I'm
She-
sorry, Candy.
she's the type of person that like
I'm
you
sorry, but
could tell her like, no, you don't eat lunch at
she won.
2
But
o'clock.
she's one of the MVPs of the season. Tilly was one of the MVPs of the season for me. I'm sorry.
You-
No.
How you calling her an MVP? That's like saying that you think.
I'm sorry.
That's like
she-
saying that.
I'm
That's
sorry,
like
she made
saying
an
that you
impact.
think Angie K is the MVP of Salt Lake City. Like that's insane. Like, like to me, that's insulting. Like, but
Why do you like her, Tay Tay?
like
Like, give us some traits that you like about her.
I like to lean.
he probably likes her. Like,
Okay, are
accents or
you
something.
Tay Tay, Adam?
I might as well be. I don't know. Like,
Okay, so
okay, this will be
I-
interesting.
I like how she handled Brooks. I believe that Brooks was doing too much, and I said this on my Dubai review on my YouTube channel. And two, I think that she had a breakout performance, and I love that when she checked Brooks at the reunion, because I do believe that Brooks was trying to have Talene as her yes person. That's why Brooks got so up Lisa's butt, trying to like stir the pot between Lisa and Ayan. And if you want my hot take, I have a lot of hot takes.
Ooh.
I am Team Ayan over Team Lisa.
Okay, well, even though I'm Team Lisa over Team Ayan, and I'm Team Brooks over Team Talene, you have a YouTube channel, put it in the chat box. You guys check out Tay Tay's YouTube. Put it in the chat.
For sure.
Go
Drop
check
your
it
link.
out.
Y'all.
Drop the link.
Yes.
Tell us where we can find you. Pump it up, babe. But listen, I don't think that Brooks needs Talene to be her mouthpiece. I think Brooks does a good job on her own. And again, same thing with like Bronwin, with Talene. Don't bite the hand that brings you in. You don't have to be a yes person. You don't have to be a mouthpiece. But when you get to the position that you clearly wanted, and then you turn so quickly on the person that got you there, to me, that just says you've always had something against this person. And you've always been fake and phony. You've always been a snake. You've always been a bastard.
A user.
I wonder with
too.
her though,
User.
it's just
It was
because
too-
Carolyn.
it was too quick. It was too quick of a turn. She wanted to be Stanberry's friend, social climb up her butt way too much. No, thank you. No,
I
thank
think
you.
she just honestly like she just
100%.
saw. I think she
100%.
didn't. I don't know. I kind of got the impression that she like didn't necessarily want to go against her as far as she did, but like Carolyn was just taking it too far. Like she was like, "Whoa, clearly this isn't even about me. Like you're just using my situation and weaponizing it for your own like agenda against these women." And it was just like, and it's like, and you're giving me instant enemies. I don't even know these people.
I think Brooks clocked what Talene was doing, and that's why she was doing the most. I think when you're the person where you're like, wait a minute, I've known this girl for how long? She's been begging and trying to get on the show since it started. I'm on the show. Now I got on the show, and she's acting brand new with these people. I think she clocked it. If I was Brooks, I would be doing the absolute most too. I would do it maybe in a different way, but I understand their reaction. I would feel 100% some type of way if I've been friends with this person for 8-10 years, get them on the show, and the first thing they do is talk to people who are either my friends or my enemies about, I'm an alcoholic, I'm crazy, I'm this, I'm that, I'm doing the most, I can't believe that everything's cool. Why are you doing this? You're being nuts, I would feel some type of way too. Again, you don't have to be blindly loyal to me. You don't have to kiss my butt. That's weird too. But to immediately turn, and have the list and go on and on and on.
The list.
She clocked it. Brooks clocked it. She clocked what the real deal was. And then you have Talene, who is now BFFs with Stanberry and Chanel.
I mean, it's cool.
I think it says a lot.
I mean, like, I'm indifferent, but like Carolyn Brooks gets on my freaking nerves.
I mean, to me, I'm kind of like the hybrid. Like, I think I think
And I'm
that
not a Brooks. I'm not a Brooks stan. Don't get me wrong. I'm just talking about this particular dynamic. We've seen it with Bronwin and Lisa. We've seen it with other people. That's what I'm referring to. Is like that dynamic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. I get you.
But with the cast of Dubai, I kind of think the problem with that show was kind of the same thing with a lot of these franchises when it doesn't work, is when there's no synergy in the cast, or if there's a clear 50-50 divide, then you know that, like, there's problems. And as Natasha said, we've had to wait like 500 years. In retrospect, it was only 2 years, but it felt like 500 years.
That's 500 in Bravo Land.
And to me, kind of, one of the episodes even got less than 200,000 views. When on the other hand, you had Beverly Hills earlier in the year get 1 million something. You know, it was decent. It was decent views, and yes, it's an established show versus a brand new show, yes, but you shouldn't be getting less than half of a successful show if you're a decent show.
But I mean, it was only their second season, and to have them wait, we don't have that much history with them enough to wait that long. So it was like almost like they were brand new again. And then on top of that, it was just like not that interesting.
It was flat.
Okay, I want to hear Candy's take on this. If you had to, out of these women, God forbid that
yes,
you ever met?
God forbid.
You would meet the worst of the worst. But what three of these women here would you like? Would you want to see the least ever in your life? If you bump it, obviously Lisa Barlow is the one you want to see the most because she's the MVP and the realist.
Yes. Who
was like the fakest person that you would like to
Which
see?
Would you hop in your car and roll up the windows real quick and lock the door?
Okay.
Yeah.
I would never want to see Whitney because I have a condition where I can't be fake. So I would never want to see her because I would just have to ignore her because I wouldn't want to be rude. So never Whitney. Brittany to me seems toxic AF, like super toxic and a dangerous person.
Yeah, chaotic, dangerous way.
Chaotic, dangerous, toxic. Then it's a tie between Bronwin and Angie K. But I'd probably have to go with I don't know. It's a tie between the two of them.
Yeah, I was just trying to think, and I'm like, they're kind of even Steven.
I would choose Angie over Bronwin.
It's time for a game.
Oh my god.
I mean, you can never go wrong. But interesting.
Adam, don't even think of it.
So Tammy Wright says, I'm sorry I'm way behind in the stream, but Up and Adam said his phone call was edited and that he specifically told Whitney it wasn't Lisa, but someone else with an alcohol business.
Stop. Really?
Adam is. I believe Adam, but he should be calling her out for that.
Yeah, why aren't you? And because why isn't Whitney correcting that? Because it's like, if that was true, I would be like, Whitney, you need to correct this. Because this is absolutely mischaracterizing what I said.
I think we might have a falling out with Whitney, Adam, Monica.
I mean,
Adam look like an idiot.
Dangerous trio.
There might be a little cracks in this friendship.
Yeah,
I think there will be some cracks, but I mean, to do a podcast in the first place with Monica is kind of says it all to me about you.
I agree.
And I'm not even trying to be shady. If that comes with shady, then too bad. Like, that's just how it is. I agree with the three that you chose. Except if I had to pick which one I'd rather be like my work colleague, if I was forced to out of annoying Bronwin with that wacko hot dog costume. I'm sorry, it may be couture or whatever, but that just looked tacky as anything.
Okay.
I would pick Miss Tacky over I'm desperate to be relevant by
Me too.
if I had to pick.
Actually,
because I'm trying to be the most relevant person on the cast when I'm just a
because
miserable
Angie kind of
person.
sucks the air out of the room too.
To me, she's the type of person that, like, if you were like part of a club at like university or in like high school, and she wasn't voted to be like the leader, she would like quit immediately, or you just kind of hear her moaning the whole time, but she's not the leader.
It's like, guys, like I'm the most qualified. Like, why would I not have been picked? Yeah,
Like,
totally.
She's the type of person that's like that, and to me,
And you have to be like, you weren't picked. Sit down.
I mean, not to divulge into it too much, but I think she's got some problems at home, as after what Meredith said last season.
I don't know. Maybe, who knows?
Because,
like, I don't even care.
To me, Lisa Barlow. What was quite fascinating is that I saw in an interview recently, Lisa Barlow said that they actually pitched Salt Lake City to happen all the way back in 2014.
Yeah, that's what Freddie was saying, and I remember hearing that too. She said that recently in an interview. I forget with who.
Yeah, I forget who as well.
But like the youngest was too young, and so she was like, no. I don't know if it was necessarily like she was aware it was going to be like a Bravo.
Yeah, she wasn't aware that it was going to be a Housewives show, but it
was like a show. They were like, "Do you want to?" And she's like, and they waited. Yeah.
And to me, that kind of shows who Lisa Barlow is. The fact that she kind of was instrumental for making this show come into fruition. I just hope that Lisa Barlow and Meredith don't have anyone like Grandad Rose's wife or this desperate Greek to meddle in their friendship. Because did Lisa Barlow have a moment with her a few seasons back? Yes, but Angie trying to go out of her way to use that as ammunition to sabotage their friendship, to me, just says also about her. Like, she's something just not right about her. To me, it's almost like I didn't think I would give a Vanderpump Rules reference, but to me, she kind of gives off. I think Katie Maloney has already got a lot of problems, but a even psycho version of Katie Maloney from Vanderpump Rules.
You hate Katie.
Dude, I'm like, Angie.
Adam is not a Katie fan and never has been.
Vanderpump Rules. I was watching TV, and then all of a sudden on my screen, I see a shirtless Tom Sandoval. He's in that new movie, like A Nanny to Die For or something on Peacock. I think it was on Lifetime. What? I was like, oh, Tom Sandoval.
Are you going to be watching that or something?
Movies.
Oh, yeah, it's on the Traders. You see that Sandoval's on the Traders season 3?
Mm-hmm. I saw all that. And I was like, what is going on? I mean, no shade, but like the acting was horrible. He was like,
I mean, we remember when he was doing that like weird future movie, and he's like pretending he was like in a desert wearing like alien costume, and the way he was acting, it was atrocious.
Where are you? It was like
even kind of
it looked like an SNL skit is what it did, but he was dead serious.
Yeah, it was really
an SNL skit, but he was
really bad.
Like, he was 100% serious.
Really, like his eyes were like wide awake, but he was like pretending to yawn.
And he genuinely thought he was killing it.
He thought he did something. He thought he put his whole foot in this Lifetime movie. And I was like, you need to take some classes, buddy. Like, if you want to be tired, it's like,
I mean, to me,
it's less. It's not so like, oh, I'm tired.
But yeah, that was my reference to Vanderpump Rules with Angie, Angie and Katie. That's introduced her. But is the Valley or whatever, is that meant to be this year, or is that going to be like January or something?
Oh, it's next year. Yeah, and people, I don't want Sandoval on the Valley.
Tom's going to be in the Valley too, because now him and Jack are friends again, reconciled again.
Oh yeah, him and Jack.
Sandoval.
Oh, Jack's the hobo.
Sandoval. It's going to be Lala, It's basically now. It's basically like
You know what it reminds me of?
ended.
This is going to
and
age
we
me,
really didn't
but
want
Saved by the
that.
Bell, the college years. It's like some of the old people went along
What
with
is
the
that?
new college things, and then they had
What
new
is
people
that?
too. Okay,
Saved-
Adam. You don't know what Saved by the Bell is?
No, is that like from the 1880s or like?
Actually, yes. The answer is yes. And the 90s. Zach Morris. You never heard of Zach Morris? Kelly
I
Kapowski?
don't know what Saved by the Bell is. It's like a pop culture. You gotta know.
Yeah, it's like the Cosbys. You may have not been alive then, but you at least
You
heard of it.
know.
Yeah. Sorry, I was just trolling.
Okay, well, we're not sure sometimes, Adam. You worry us, but okay. I'm
Yeah,
just
it's
kidding.
probably cancelled.
Vanderpump Rules been canceled. I think they're aren't they casting new people? I think they're
The whole point that the latest thing that TMZ got was that the brand new cast will kind of be merged into this brand new season at the very end, is what they reported, because apparently the direction is, as we know, Lala and Sheena and all that are going to join the Valley and act like they're close friends with that weird estate agent lady.
After they
Oh,
pretended that wasn't going to
God.
happen, despite buying new real estate directly in that vicinity.
We did not want that.
And we
I
all
didn't want it.
complained, and they reassured us it wasn't. And then look what's happening.
But well, now they're like trying to act super close to that estate agent lady with social problems, like
Michelle.
Oh, Michelle. Oh, I can't stand that demon. Ugh.
I mean, to me, there's something robotic about her.
Sorry.
There's something robotic about her. She just kind of gives off like if Siri was a real person. To me,
right? Yeah, I was gonna say like NPC,
real.
that's been programmed weird, and there's like a bug in it or something.
Yeah, something like that. But, I mean, to me, I don't know in terms. But
there's just something off with her eyes too, and the way she talks. There's like I don't know.
So, are you free watching the fake New York show though? Like for real? Are you actually watching that? It's like
I've watched the episodes just like when they're in the background. I'm not like putting a lot of like.
Me too.
You know what I mean?
But then again, like I know it doesn't seem like it because I'm like really do deep dives into it, but all Bravo shows I watch in the background. Maybe I have like ADHD or something. I'm not pulling a Tamra Judge.
Like don't say that. Don't say that.
No, I'm not pulling a Tamra Judge.
Don't say that name. Don't say that name.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm not pulling
exactly.
I'm not.
We agree. Tay and I agree on that.
Don't say Tama's name.
I know.
Tama's name in here.
She might appear somewhere.
Oh,
yeah.
sorry. Candyman.
Natasha, don't even say she might. Oh my god. Natasha that like knows really like how to say things at times. Yeah. She might appear somewhere like.
Like don't you know what I mean? Don't say their name too much, otherwise they could appear. It's scary. It is the spooky season after all. Hello.
I love it how Tay said don't say her name, but he said her name.
I didn't. I'd like the record to be shown.
Yes.
I'm not pulling a her, but like I watch all these shows.
You're not pulling the Nap Buddies card.
Yeah,
the Nap Buddy.
Because I have to be like doing, like I'll have like multiple screens. Or
You're
like,
right. I do that, or like if I'm watching, even if I'm watching like at night, I'll be like doing Sudoku or something. Like I have to be like doing something, or I'll be scrolling through Instagram. I can't just sit there and watch it. Like I'm tuned in for a movie, like the latest flip.
I only do that with Beverly Hills. Other than Beverly Hills, I don't do that.
It's like I'm scrolling or I'm doing something and it's always like in the background, but I'm always like multitasking. And I need to check myself. I need to like stop that.
I mean, do you do that for anything else or just Bravo? Because it could just be that.
Everything. Everything. But then when you say like what happened.
But I don't really think you are because I feel like you don't have any other symptoms.
But it's like what happened in scene 2.
Chunk says they put captions on.
I'll like know exactly. Maybe I'm like a savant. I don't know.
Chocolate Chunk says they put the captions on.
Maybe you're just like too advanced and you can do multiple things at the same time.
And then be scrolling on my phone if it's. Yes, you are one of us, Chocolate Chunk.
But
no, my problem is I'll be doing something and I'll miss something juicy and go to rewind and then forget and then do it again and miss it again.
This
and
happens
be like,
to
why
me
is this happening?
too. This
Mhm.
happens to me too, especially when I'm trying to tweet something. I'm trying to catch it.
Mhm.
Put it
Yeah,
on
and then I'll
social
get
media.
distracted on the second time around again. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. It's a nightmare.
Miss T says we all do that. Okay, good. Okay, good. Not just me.
What
Yeah.
if you had to
Shoot, I'm the same. Even watching here, doing other things. Yes, Miss T.
yeah, yeah, other than Beverly Hills, I'm the same. Like Beverly Hills is the only one I actually
Oh,
attention
Adam is
to.
glued in when Beverly's on.
He was like, listen, you guys, about Beverly Hills, according to Wikipedia.com.
Yeah, allegedly, supposedly.
Allegedly.
He can do
Supposedly.
like he'll have like a pre-prep PowerPoint presentation like Candy style on
Yeah.
every
I
single
might as
episode.
well. Like if I studied media as like my degree at uni, it would have probably been a PowerPoint on Beverly Hills. Like, literally.
You can do your dissertation, yeah.
It either would that be or about how Khloe Kardashian isn't Robert Kardashian's daughter or something like that. I don't know.
Oh, poor Clo.
Not poor Chloe. She was at those parties.
True.
I mean, they all were. I mean, that
True.
family's being dragged because they were like,
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same with I don't know if you saw Piers Morgan, but what's it, Jay-Z and Beyonce when they mentioned that person's when they had a panelist mention that person's
Jaguar?
name, then it yes, they
Is that the first time you ever heard of Jaguar, right, Adam? Because your boy Pierce
Yeah,
brought her on.
yeah, I mean, Piers, the name, like when I think of Jaguar, I think of the car, like literally. Or
Oh,
because it's Jaguar Land Rover is what makes Range Rover and what have you. But like, but they
Okay.
even Jay-Z and Beyonce got to the point that they were going to like send a letter to. But they sent a letter to Rupert Murdoch and Piers Morgan saying, if you don't remove our name, we're going to take legal action. Like they,
but
like,
then they
literally
don't do that. They don't do that to Jaguar though, which is weird. But then again, I guess she doesn't have anything. But it's like they're probably like
because because Rupert Murdoch, right, is the billionaire. Like Jay-Z may have two.
He owns like the conglomerate of like the station that was broadcasted on, right?
Well, it's now just on Pierce's channel, but he owns part of Pierce's channel because he used to have this thing called Talk TV, but Jay-Z may be worth $2.5 billion, but Murdoch's worth $21 billion. It's mad.
Yeah, they're the Murdoch.
Yeah, the Murdoch's huge.
Yeah, I mean, it's a wild one, but
I don't know. I went down a rabbit hole of like everyone aggressively thanking Beyonce, and then even JoJo was like, "I'm trying to keep the dance community safe, so thanks, Beyonce."
Yeah,
but to me, what is your like overall thoughts on OC? Like, do you find it?
Honestly, I haven't even watched it. I've never been a fan. OC and Jersey are like the same to me. I feel like they're just the West Coast, East Coast versions. Like as far as like just level of women, then I'm just like I'm not even trying to be insulting. I'm just like I just never been interested in any of them.
California,
but they have similar vibes to me, and I can't explain it. Well, I could, but I don't want to be insulting.
I could, but I don't want to be, of course.
But there's like parallels to me, and the same reasons why I don't like one, I kind of don't like the other. And I've never gotten into them, and they've been around. Like OC was the first one. Let's be honest. You know what I mean? Yeah. They were never my vibes.
I'm enjoying the OC so far. Like I love that Jennifer is standing up to Tammy right now. I
thought you said you weren't going to mention her name.
Well,
Sorry.
I lied.
Well, we need an alternative name if that's going to work. Otherwise, we got to do it, unfortunately.
Okay.
Just say the Nats podcast buddy or something.
That's a lot of words, Adam.
I don't know. Or just add the T at the end where it becomes Raj.
Well,
okay. Just Adam.
I don't know. That's what everyone's decided. I mean, even what's her name? Kelly Dodd was like was calling her that the other day. But
she's just too much.
But if you had to rate,
can you finish a sentence?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Did I interrupt? I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, I was telling Adam, can Taylor or Tay finish a sentence?
All right. Yeah. So, yeah. Keeping on OC, like Alexis can get off our screens. Like she sucks. Legit.
Mhm.
Is she getting extra evil this season? I heard she is.
Yes.
With
she
that John
is.
guy?
And super vain.
Yeah, I call him Johnny.
Well, she's always been that way.
Jackass for a reason, because John Jansen's a jackass.
He's
Mhm.
like, he seems very sinister.
But he's an opportunist.
Yeah,
He
said
just
wouldn't
the
be-
look in his eye, like he has very sinister like energy. Like
He triggered me one day when he was on the Housewives live. I had to like turn it off.
oh, when he was in the audience and kind of like
Yes.
confirming things for Alexis, and she was being very like
The moment that he opened his mouth, like
he was like, because I can't have her saying stuff, I have to have something against her or something weird, right?
Something along those lines. It just screamed desperation. I mean, other than
Oh,
other than Shannon and Jennifer Patantry, I don't like the cast really. I mean,
Well,
Gina to me is just why are you even here? Why you
Gina's
overstayed your welcome?
Gina's alright to me, but I like that she's having her back of Shannon. But I didn't like when she came after Jen. Emily is trying to be
who's
a
Jen?
rat.
Jen
Is Jen new?
Jen, I like Jen
No,
too.
it's just Jen's second season.
I feel
Yeah.
like they all have the same kind of names. There's always like multiple Jens. Every husband is named Ryan
Michelle.
or Rain or like I don't know.
I'm saving my critique for tomorrow.
But my question was going to be, if you had to
Uh-huh.
say, if you had to rank the 4 shows,
Here we go.
Yeah, what show is the hardest to watch out of the 4?
That's
What's the 4?
currently airing or in general?
Yes, currently airing.
So Potomac, New York, Salt Lake, and OC.
I say
Potomac is kind of hard.
I haven't started watching it.
Yeah.
Can't lie, Potomac is kind of hard.
I didn't watch last season.
New
be
York
honest.
is a close second.
Yeah.
And then I would say Salt Lake and then OC. Because I'm invested in OC with the Shannon stuff and seeing what's going to happen with all of that. I'm a little more invested in that.
Okay, maybe I can get a little
Yeah,
more
I'm
into that.
invested in like
Yeah.
Salt Lake City too.
And
OC's good.
I'm rooting for Shannon.
Yeah, we all are.
Yeah.
We all were.
Everybody in the chat is rooting for Shannon. Like
Yeah.
we come into the season, like we wanted to raise
Because
our
we don't like
pitchforks
bullying.
and come after Shannon for the DUI, because we all know the DUI was wrong. Like Shannon should have never done that.
Right.
And
But this
for
woman
John
is
and
like
Alexis
clearly
and
like
Tamara
not doing
Judge
great.
to
She's
use
down.
that against her, like that is dirty. Like how dare you?
Yeah. It's evil. And that's what happens when people, again, that's what happens when people don't really like you. They project their disdain for you onto other people. So Tamara, I know I said her name. Tamara thought that everybody disliked Shannon, the audience, everybody else, the way she didn't like her. But she got a rude awakening when she realized that no, people do like Shannon and they do have their back. And yes, she's human. Sure, she made a mistake, but we're rooting for her. And you don't treat people like that. So now she's out here acting like a freaking fool and needs to be canceled for everything she's saying.
And now she's claiming a neurodivergence. Yeah.
Yeah, which is absolutely ridiculous and crazy.
Which is beyond.
Which is beyond disrespectful,
Mm.
beyond disrespectful and disgusting and just all of the things. But that just right there shows you how she's felt about her this entire time. Because people think people have the opinion of people that they have. That's just human nature. I don't like this person. And you're like, you like them? I'm like, really? Why? I don't like them. Nobody should like them. What?
I just want to be like to anyone who thinks Tamara is her friend, like anyone, even like off the show, whatever. I promise she is not. Like, I promise she is not.
Who is Tamara's friend to? She turned on Vicky, did Vicky dirty. She cannot stand Heather. She talks about Heather like a dog behind her back. Everything those girls say, it basically comes from Tamara's mouth about Heather, but Heather either is willfully ignorant or is just ignorant to the fact that all of this stuff about Heather is literally coming from Tamara. Like, who is Tamara? Like, in the fact that she was being friends with Alexis Bellina?
That's outrageous.
What?
Meanwhile, didn't her husband sue her?
Sued her, and she's like, "Oh, I lost $500,000." If anybody in this world was associated with somebody, let alone married to, let alone actively a part of a lawsuit where
that's when you know she's desperate and deranged, when she is
$500,000.
teaming up with someone who did that to her. Like, are
I-
you nuts?
I cannot
If their entire family was on fire.
Like,
It's
are you
be-
okay, ma'am?
It's beyond. I mean, to me, I just don't understand it. It's the same. It's kind of like why we just don't understand why this Brittany is desperate with this Osmond guy. I don't know. Like, to me, like, what is everyone's hopes with Salt Lake City? Like, what do we actually want out of this show? Like, do you want Lisa Barlow and Heather to be friends, or like actual real friends, or do you think they're better off just being how they are now?
Wait,
I'm down for them to be friends.
Wait, what was the question? Sorry. See, I got distracted. What was the question?
Yeah, no worries. No worries, it's fine.
Yeah.
I was like, what do you actually want from Salt Lake City? Do you want Lisa Barlow and Heather to actually be real friends, or are you better? Do you think they're better off how they are now? Like, what do you want from Salt Lake City? We all know Lisa Barlow's the MVP, but other than that, what do we kind of want from the season?
Okay, so this might be. I personally do think Lisa and Heather are real friends. I know some people don't, but I personally do. I think that's a genuine friendship there. So I want to continue them. I like the trio of Meredith, Lisa, and Heather. I think that's such a core unit. I want to see that continue.
I know, because I feel like they're on the same caliber.
Yes.
Yeah, I love them together. I think they're funny. I think they're great. I love to see it. Bronwin, to me, could be a one-season wonder. I don't really need her to come back. I don't need to see her couture costumes that I'm just like, you could feed the homeless because you're not really doing what you think you're doing. Like, girl, bye. I don't like that she turned on Lisa. I don't like that she is thirsty and is up Whitney's butt, like, for what and why. Bronwin can be a one and done.
She's not doing what she thinks she is with her fashions.
I don't really have anything against her. She's not really vibing with me, but I would rather they get rid of Granddad Rose's wife before.
And that chair sculpture was just disrespectful.
They could keep Bronwin for one.
I would rather Whitney over Bronwin because because this is the thing. At least Whitney is being real. Like, this is how awful she is. This is who she is. She's alive.
I'd rather Bronwin. Whitney is like.
I'd rather have Whitney.
I feel like she is just scary at this point.
I agree with Natasha there.
Like, she actually scares me. Like, I would never. Like, if I saw her, I'd cross the street.
Tata, do you want to see Granddad Rose for another season?
No, I would rather see Bronwin back than Whitney, because I want to give Bronwin a chance. You know, let's see if she could turn this around.
Like, I'm not liking her, but like, if we're gonna compare her to Whitney, I mean,
that's how I'm feeling. Exactly, Natasha. Exactly.
Whitney is just like on another level of something that isn't good.
but Lisa Barlow, are we all in agreement here that Lisa Barlow, Heather, and Meredith are that core three, or do you think there's another? Three.
No, they're the core three, because also everything revolves around them. There's Meredith versus Angie. There's then there's
right. It's the side characters coming for them.
Yeah, Lisa Barlow versus the gang, except for Meredith and Heather. You know, Heather is being
Lisa is always unbothered but outnumbered, and I love it.
You know, Heather's sort of that pot stirs, kind of like is able to play both sides. So like the three of them really is the foundation of the show. Meredith isn't even in the episode, but Angie still has her name in her mouth. You know what I mean? Exactly. So it's stuff like that where it's like, even when that's how you know you're that girl, when you're not even in the scene, Lisa Barlow's not in the scene,
But you're
the
still in
entire
the scene.
is about that's when you know
I mean-
you're really that girl.
I mean, Meredith lives rent free in Angie's brain. Let's be real.
100%. And
It's
Lisa
true.
lives rent free in Whitney's head. And
I was
in
just gonna say that in
Uh,
multiple people's heads.
I mean,
Brittany, I don't know her head.
Her head, is there anything in there? Who knows?
Brittany also can be a one and done. Her energy is scary to me and
Goodbye.
weird and bizarre and dangerous. Bye bye.
what is this? Bailey, I don't even
Like I feel
half
like if
half
that
the time I
guy
don't
told
even know
her to
she's
commit a
here.
crime, she would. Like I feel like she's that weird. It's scary.
Oh,
Yeah, literally.
100%, because she would
Uh,
be like, now he'll finally love me and choose me.
Like she would
Yeah.
be willing to do something awful
Yeah,
for that man. Like
You
it's
may
scary.
think Natasha's joking, but she's actually like.
I'm
dead
not. I'm being
accurate.
dead serious.
She's actually dead accurate as well. I mean, like, but with like this whole
Dead accurate.
but with
Thank you, Adam.
but, I mean, it's true. There's something not you could if he told her that they're going to go to Mars tomorrow on Elon Musk's SpaceX, she would probably believe that. She's like, one of
He's
these
like,
types
listen, I need you to murder these 5 people and then rob this
oh my
bank,
God.
and then we'll be together forever. And we'll just be the Bonnie and Clyde, I promise. Okay.
He'll finally post me on Instagram.
Yeah.
But-
Will you promise to be Instagram official? Okay. Like, yikes.
literally, but
Kinda
it,
sad that like she's at this stage being like, he doesn't post me.
Like, you're
But-
like in your mid 40s, sweetie. This is not right.
but this Miley, whatever her name is, I kind of forget that she's even meant to be part of the show half the time.
Yeah.
To
Yeah,
me,
she's
yeah.
like
to,
left
to me, she's kind of if you remember Giselle's puppet, regular Robin brought that Escale person on. Like I remember, like when everyone was like, "Who the hell is that?"
I didn't mind her.
I
Sure,
didn't.
yeah, I was gonna say.
I liked her outfit.
I liked her, but like people were like,
Girl
half
knew
the
how to
time
dress.
when we were watching the show, half the time I was like, "Is this person actually meant to be
On the
here?"
show.
Like, yeah, like I didn't have any problem with her. I actually liked her. Don't get me wrong, but it was like, is this meant to be a cast member, or is this just some extra that was paid $50 to stand in the room? Like that's kind of the vibe I get with this with this person. I mean,
Extra
yeah, I mean that kind of says it all.
harsh.
Is automated shady.
Miss T, Miss T herself is shady. Like,
She is automated.
we know you can be shady at times. Don't worry.
Yes.
but in retrospect, if you had to say that Salt Lake City, if they had a 6th season, realistically,
Okay.
if hypothetically Meredith, Lisa, Heather, and Mary, those 4 key stayed,
Okay.
and let's just say they took a chance on Bronwin, so that's 5, and these other 3 and this irrelevant 5 seconds an episode Lady Melee were all kicked off the show, and they brought in 2 brand new people, would that work?
You know what's weird though? I always
Depends on
forget
people, right?
Angie went to high school with
Yes.
Heather.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I always
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember that, guys? She brought it
Yeah, but-
up, and I was like, "Oh yeah."
it wasn't even. Is that high school 7th grade? Is that I don't know what is that?
High
your-
school is typically 9th through 12th.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they were like, we've known each other since the 6th or 7th grade. Like that's
So that'd be middle school. But like usually people
That's
don't go
it, that's
middle
it.
school. They like you remember high school.
Like,
That's,
oh, we
the
went-
main
yeah,
one.
I'm just thinking like if you've known someone, forget the high school whatever, but just the age, like, and you're on, that's crazy. Like just that. What are you like 11, 6, 12? Or something?
Yeah,
I
that's
don't
like
know.
35 years.
Like that's pretty long. Like
Yeah.
that's not too shabby. But that would be my dream, is that they get rid of this man obsessed Brittany, whatever her name is. They get rid of Angie, and they get rid of Grandad Rose,
Yeah.
and that's what I want. I know you said you would rather Bronwin go over Grandad Rose, but like I think, look, if her and Lisa can reconcile later in this current season, in the next few episodes,
They don't. Did you see what happens live with Bronwin?
No. We don't get that really over here.
Stop. No, what happened?
But
Well, she was saying how like Lisa didn't call me to wish me well for Watch What Happens Live, but like I have hope that like down the line things can get better.
Did she actually say that?
Shut
Yeah.
up, Bronwyn.
That's
Like,
dope.
why do you think
That's
you're
dope.
owed that at this
So
point, the way you acted?
something happens between Lisa and Bronwyn, like the rift continues and it still hasn't been resolved because she was just on Watch What Happens Live the other day and it didn't seem like her and Lisa were friends anymore. She's like, well, you know, I have hope that like someday, blah, blah, blah.
I knew Bronwyn wasn't it though when she like was laughing at Whitney and then had the nerve to turn up at her house and pretend to be a sympathizer of her. I was like, what? That was like
F.
aggressive two faces
So fake.
That was outrageous.
Yep.
I was like, wow.
About Lisa, like that's why I'm like Bronwyn missed me with all of this. I guess I'd rather like the devil I know. So I would rather have Whitney than Bronwyn. And I know that's saying a lot.
But Whitney is like, I just feel like she's so crazy and scary. Like, I just feel like, I don't know.
I do agree. Whitney needs to go.
I still can't believe we heard that out of that mouth that this person is trying to say that Lisa Barlow and Meredith envy her granddad Rose's lifestyle. I mean, like,
I'm ready to see what's Lisa Barlow's husband's name?
Wait, did she really say that?
Yes.
I must have been doing something and
she literally said that Meredith and Lisa.
She said in the confessional.
Envy clearly wants something part of her life.
Like this lady is not mentally there. Like this is concerning at this point, really.
What's Lisa Barlow's name? Sandy said Mr. Lisa Barlow. I'm waiting for next season next episode. I cannot wait for Mr. Lisa Barlow to square up against Grandpa Rose. They square up.
Oh,
really?
yes.
Yeah, I feel like Mr. Barlow, Mr. Lisa Barlow, low key doesn't play.
I mean, he's a realist. He's a realist.
Yeah, I'm putting my money on him. This is the
thing. In their relationship with Lisa, you can tell that he is the one who actually controls everything. It just looks like she does. Thank you, Miss John. Thank you, Dr. John.
Like she'll make all the decisions, but like he agrees with it. But if he doesn't, he's gonna be like, no, that's not happening, and it doesn't happen. You know what I mean?
Because he squares up with Grandpa Rose and he's like, don't call my wife a liar, like all this stuff. I'm like, John Barlow, I freaking love you.
You too.
Because Grandpa Rose, you don't want it, homeboy.
Yeah, you don't want the smoke.
It would not smell. So, and I love seeing when a man defends his wife.
Me
but
too.
Not in a way, but not when a man defends his wife to another woman. Like Colleen's husband cussing out Brooks.
I mean,
I didn't like it.
That was crazy.
Yeah, no,
I mean, going man to man, that shows your true characteristics.
I know what Colleen's husband was trying to do. He was trying to de-escalate, but that didn't
he
go
wasn't
well.
trying to de-escalate. He had his
Tay, you can't defend that. Like,
I'm not defending it. I'm not defending the way
he
that
wasn't trying to escalate that. He was looking for
how is a man de-escalating by screaming at a woman and yelling at her and getting in her face?
I did not like the tone of it.
Yep.
That's what I'm trying to
I
tell
think
you.
their lines were definitely blurred in their relationship. Like she was allowed to talk, they talked to each other a certain way, despite being like the husband of her friend. But like, yeah, absolutely. Do not scream in a woman's face. What are you doing?
I don't think there's ever a line blurred. Whether you are and they talked about this at the reunion, and I agree with Brooks. And when Andy was like, "But he's friends with you. He can talk." No, a man. I don't care if you are a friend, a stranger, a husband, a boyfriend, a cousin, a brother. I don't care who the hell you are. You do not address a woman the way he did.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like
Brooks was saying, like, no, like he's a man addressing a woman like that. It's even worse if it's your friend. Your friend should have even more.
Yeah, you just like it doesn't matter if we're like cool and we joke around and you think I'm like one of your buddies. At the end of the day, do not get it twisted. I'm a woman and do not speak to me like this. And do not like buck up to me, you weirdo.
Yeah, getting jazzy with it. Like he was about to do something to it. And it's like, no.
Like, are you out of your mind?
That's not okay on any level. Oh, what happened to Adam?
Adam?
Well, I guess that's getting him off.
Does that mean we should call it a night, guys?
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably.
I'm a little sleepy myself. But
Yeah.
Me too.
you guys, we're back.
This was fun, and this was a total surprise.
Yeah,
I loved it.
me
Yeah,
too.
me
Me
too.
too. I feel so refreshed. Like I definitely needed that break. And I'm
It was
really
way too heavy back. Like it
Oh,
was like
backstage for some reason. Where backstage? I can't even see him.
Oh yeah.
Well, we can't
Uh,
see him. We're about to go
I
Adam.
think we found him.
He's back.
I think I found him. Yeah.
You did? Where
He's
is he?
backstage.
You
I
can
found
I think I found them.
see him.
He's in the private chat.
No, I found him in the private chat, but I can't find his little thing to bring him up.
Yeah, he says I'm backstage.
It's his device not connected.
You're not. I'm writing. You're not connected, and we're leaving.
Oh, yeah. Candy, one thing, like I just want to thank you for
Yay! Okay.
yeah. I just want to like thank you for coming to my aid after you saw my post from
Yes, I
Instagram.
did. You're welcome, sweetheart. No problem at all. Anytime.
Yeah.
You're welcome. No
Okay.
problem. Yeah. Hi.
Adam, we're taking off, buddy.
Yeah, I was just gonna say. It was really.
Isn't it like
refreshing.
3:00 in the morning there?
It's 2:30, but like I'll go to bed.
I was
I go to bed in,
exaggerating,
like,
and then I wasn't.
I go to bed in like five minutes anyway. Like I'm the type of person that like can just go to bed whenever.
See you
Like,
tomorrow, Misty. Mwah.
Must
Yeah,
be nice.
Bye.
yes, much love.
Are you guys watching
But
House
yeah.
of Villains?
Oh, guess who's
I-
the narrator of that?
Monica.
Oh God.
That's Monica.
Ugh.
No, it's not.
It
She
is.
couldn't get a spot on the show, so they gave her a voice.
What?
Yeah, Heather Lisa said bye.
But
She's a
Not, like,
narrator.
he was not having it on
Mhm.
Salt Lake City, so they decided to like give her the House of Villains role instead.
Bye, Sandy. Thank you, sweetheart. Mwah.
but yes, thank you for coming back. Like I still think we were like needed to a detox from all this. Like as Freddie and I like to say. As Freddie and I like to say, we needed like our chill pill. Like we just needed this time away. Like
Yeah.
literally like. But with the other shows, like as we said earlier, no shade. We didn't really miss much.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like just like our vibes all sound like so much more relaxed, and like you can tell it's like we just got back from vacation or something.
Exactly.
Well, that's how I kind of feel. I feel like we lived our lives in our summer and like we just had a nice time, like as a chill pill, you know.
Yeah.
but
Because-
it's fun. But it's fun. But it's
Did
fun
you
to be
guys-
back. It's
Hey,
fun
one-
to be
one thing.
back.
It is
And-
fun to do that.
Did you guys watch Love Island?
Yes,
Season 6?
Mhm.
Like
Candy hated it.
one of the best ones this
Your
summer.
American one compared to the British one is so lame.
I didn't
Are
watch
you,
it.
Adam? Like you were wrong this year.
Oh, you know
It
what
is
I love?
unanimous that the US was better than everyone. Stopped
No.
watching the UK one.
No,
Like
wait,
you,
Well,
you were behind. Like you're going by past seasons.
I don't
We
even
the
were
UK
in
one-
2024.
The UK one was getting 4 million views.
Do you guys want to do Love is Blind?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't watch that, but I might get into it if you promote it to me. I don't know. Like,
Candy
I
doesn't
don't-
like anymore. She gave up after like episode 16.
Love Island, I had to stop. I couldn't, like, my spirit was like, you're doing a detox. Why are you watching? Like, I couldn't do it. I couldn't.
Meanwhile, I was deep diving.
Natasha was thoroughly down the Love Island.
I was in the
The
trenches.
entire tour and was just like, Love Island.
I don't know what happened. I became possessed. It was really scary.
Yeah, it took over me. Love
I think they cast a
I
spell
admit,
on that. That was
I-
actually scary.
I admit, Love Island was cool.
Glamour magic or something. And you're like,
Love Island UK, like Love Island USA, not so much. But anyways,
Did you watch this season of Love Island UK, Adam?
yes.
Okay, that's weird because I watched the first like 10 episodes and I couldn't get into it. I was like, okay.
But,
Did you watch the US at all?
Yes.
No, Adam.
bit.
I'm asking Adam since he has these big opinions.
Oh,
yes.
okay.
You
A
watched
bit,
all of US.
Not
No, this
All of it.
season. Don't talk about this
not
season.
the latest one. No, not
Okay, there we go. Okay, so like, how is this opinion?
because on other seasons, like your
But I'm talking about
your
this season. I'm
your
saying
sen-
this. You know how sometimes things change?
things can change.
Yeah, sometimes things change.
Things
Like
change.
shows get better, other
What?
shows don't get
I don't-
better.
Wait,
You know.
people things change. I didn't know
Yeah.
that. All right,
All right, guys, let's see.
All right.
I'll watch it. I'll give it a go.
I told you
Love Is,
to.
okay, Love is Blind. Like, okay,
Did
I'll
you
give-
ever finish
Season
Southern
7.
Charm?
But I will say
Yes.
this: it's the worst season ever. So just be prepared that it's going to be awful. So we're just going to roast it, unless you love it.
I mean,
It was pretty good. It cast a spell on me, but if I look back now, I'm kind of embarrassed. I'm not gonna lie.
No, I
mean,
think Love is Blind, not Love Island.
Oh, Love is Blind. Oh,
You
we're
were
doing Love
so
is Blind.
into Love Island. You're like Love Island.
Oh my god, I'm watching this season of Love is Blind. Oh my god, it is diabolical.
It's
First of all,
bad, right?
I knew it would be because DC people are weird. I grew up in Maryland. I always thought it, always knew it. So I was
No,
like,
but this
okay, there's
season
gonna be DC
special
people.
kind of cray. It's a
No, they
special-
are like, I don't know where they got these people. It is like next level, like sociopathic. Like, I almost feel like these people should sue them because, like, why are you letting them get on a show with these people? It's
Yeah.
scary. Some of them are really scary.
Agreed.
I mean-
AKA Steven, even that Tim Kit guy. He's like, no, the children don't know who I am. Meanwhile, cut to pictures of him at Christmas time. It's like, what? This is
Yeah.
why I have trust issues. These kind of lies.
Ah!
Anyway, but yeah, it's a basically like a really, like, if you want to get into psychological analysis, like there's a lot going on there. You're gonna have a lot to work with.
I mean,
So, I love you.
all
All
guys.
right, yeah, we need to go. We've been talking.
much love. Thank you for coming back, and it was nice to.
Yeah.
And it's really
Not
cool.
a long goodbye, Adam. I'm just kidding.
No, it's okay. No, it's fun to be back. And the thing is,
Yeah.
it felt like right now felt right. Like I just like my gut was just like, it's time to go live, Candy. Like it's time to go live. And it just felt so much fun tonight. Like the gang's back. So gang.
Yeah.
I know.
Perfect.
And like I said, it's light. I feel like there's not like no like drama and weird
Love
stuff,
you.
and it just feels like
Love
it's
you,
like
Candy. Love everybody. Yeah,
right.
it's just good. It's just good vibes. I
Right?
think it's great that we took that break.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right,
For sure.
bye.
All right, I'll see
I'm
you
going
guys
for real.
tomorrow. You guys better come tomorrow night.
All right.
Love
Bye.
you. Bye.
Bye.